God, then we will not fail. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
For 7 years, they hated him, they targeted him, they hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America.
We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
And then after about 2 weeks, they said, wait a minute, this is a gift. He'll do anything.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
Back to shenanigans. Trying to break the other arm.
Charlie Kirk is dead because you Democrat morons are running around being idiots, completely unchecked.
They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you.
And notice I don't say radical left or left-wing lunatic. All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Hello, hello. Here we go. It is Thanksgiving Eve. What's up, man? What's up, everybody? What's up, Eric? What is happening, guys? Are we live? Is my mic working? Yeah, mic is working. Our chat is on. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's go time, baby. What's up, State Line? Hell yeah. Here we go, guys. We got a few things happening. It's Thanksgiving. Let me turn the sound down on this parade inflation situation. So they're inflating the balloons for the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade in New York. That's what we're looking at now. We also got JD Vance doing some kind of a Thanksgiving. What is this for the troops? All right, all right. Hell yeah. Eric is at work, unlike the so-called betas. All right, dude. Hell yeah. So we got a few things. We got JD Vance with the troops doing Thanksgiving. Guys, it's Thanksgiving Eve. And we got an interesting, we're just actually talking about it off stream in the Discord, about family members. It's Thanksgiving. Do you agree with all your family members that you're going to see tomorrow? Or are there some that you disagree with? I'm sure like me, you've got a lot of family members that you disagree with. And that's going to be interesting. Good news for me is my mom and dad are both on the right. My mom has been a Republican since the very beginning, never changed. My sister, though, is not. So it's going to make for an interesting Thanksgiving. But we'll see how that goes down. Yep. So here we go, guys. Guys, there's a different situation happening right now. Let me mute this also here. We got a few things that I'm going to pull up. But here we got Hong Kong, guys. If you guys are not aware, this is Hong Kong. It's a building that's been burning. Like, it looks like a scene out of Batman. It's freaking nuts. Looks like Gotham City out of Batman. Absolutely crazy. Look at all of those windows that are lit up. Those are all, it's a fire in this building that has literally been going on and it's just taken over the entire, it looks like the entire building. You got these guys trying to put out the fire. If you could see it right here on your screen, on the right side, you got the fire truck. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you here. You can see right there, they got this water spraying into this one window, but dude, the whole place is on fire. So I don't know how they're going to contain that or how they're going to figure that thing out. Because this is nuts. It's absolutely, completely on fire. The whole building, it looks like, all the way up and down and around. I'm going to go back. Let me rewind a little bit so you can see kind of what I'm talking about. Look, here it is. Again, guys, this is literally Hong Kong. And yeah, in the chat it says too fast to track, says exactly. Towering Inferno, yeah. Min says she's worried about a friend there. Can't get a hold of her. Damn, that's crazy. But I'm telling you, this literally, it looks like Gotham City out of Batman, dude. It looks crazy. So I don't know how you get a fire that gets the entire massive building like this on fire like that. That's just kind of wild to me to see. Let me see if there's some other. So like here, you could see these guys trying to put it out at the bottom. I don't know if you could see a couple of different fire trucks and firefighters trying to put this out, but it's pretty wild because, I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to put a dent in that fire. And the other thing is maybe they are trying to, I don't know, save the structures to avoid the whole thing coming down because, dude, this looks pretty, I mean, it looks to me like the whole thing's going to just be gone. So I'm not sure what they're going to be able to save. Yeah. Yeah, this is literally Hong Kong, guys. So here we go. I got the wrong date on there. Let's go. Let's fix that date. Here we go, guys. But this is wild. Let's go here. There we go. Again, so now we're going to switch over to this. This is New York. They're filling up the balloons for the Thanksgiving parade. And then here we got Chuck Schumer and some things going on. Let's see what they got here.
Schumer is facing pushback and blowback from a so-called fight club of Senate Democrats. The New York Times saying, quote, a group of influential liberal senators, they're being kind by saying liberal, is directly challenging Chuck Schumer's approach to the midterm elections and President Trump in another sign of growing frustration among Democrats toward the minority leader. Those members are apparently including Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and the party is showing more signs of cracks after Senator Cory Booker had this to say on a podcast.
I'm one of those people that's saying as our party has failed, they've made terrible mistakes, and I want us to emerge in this moment, not focusing on party, but refocusing on people. The Democratic Party has failed in my...
You said you're saying it now, but...
my generation.
Oh, you said he's saying that he's been saying it, but he's
party
just
has
saying it
failed.
now.
They've made terrible mistakes.
Booker had this to say on a podcast.
I'm one of those people that's saying as our party has failed.
Yeah, your party has failed, and it's been failing ever since the election from last year that was lost, bro. You guys have failed miserably and haven't changed the tune at all. Been basically on the same thing all the way till now, and now you're saying it's failed? And what exactly are you going to do about it? What policies, what plans do you have, bro? What do you have in mind?
Terrible mistakes, and I want us to emerge in this moment, not focusing on party, but refocusing on people. The Democratic Party has failed in my generation.
How? Here to discuss is the host of My View, Laura Trump, that you see Saturday nights. Laura, first off, what do you think Cory Booker's talking about? I mean, I know how you feel about how the party's failed, but what do you think they mean when they say he's failed?
Well, in a lot of ways, Brian, I think this is just the cat is now out of the bag, and the American people are starting to see that the Democrat establishment has been able to pull the strings behind the scenes for a long time. Now, that all fell apart, you know, when they plugged in an empty suit of Joe Biden at the top of the ticket to be the quote unquote leader of the party. Well, that was just a complete void of nothingness there at the top. And that's allowed this very far left radical wing of the party to kind of come in and fill things in. And now they're a party of socialists with communist ideas. And that's a big problem for the Democrats. He is right in the fact that they haven't delivered anything for the American people, that the base they used to have of blue collar workers fully moved over to vote for President Trump in basically the last three elections very strongly, for sure, in 2024. And they've lost most of what they used to count on in their party. Look at young voters as well. They're also shifting to the right. So they have a big problem. But, you know, the infighting, I think, has just begun. It's like the inmates are now fully running the asylum that is the Democrat Party. And for Chuck Schumer, I mean, he's had a tough job. It's been like herding cats. And I think the word is out. If you are not willing to bow down to their...
I think Eric's right. Eric in the chat is saying, he says, Medi, Republicans need to get Laura Trump, who you're seeing on the top of your screen right now, says they need to get Laura Trump back to organize and get Republicans on the campaign trail because this faction of Democrats, and need to flip a lot of seats, and it's going to hurt. I don't think Democrats are going to flip a lot of seats, to be honest. They're very much out of touch with reality and with their voters. They are talking down to their voters. Yes, it's true their voters are allergic to facts, and for the most part, a lot of Democrats come out and just say whatever they want, knowing that they're never going to be checked. Their voters are not going to hear the other side of the argument and will never know the truth. Like, for example, when Jasmine Crockett came out and said Zeldin was getting paid by who was it? Epstein, and it turns out to be not even Jeffrey Epstein. It was like some doctor, some random Jeffrey Epstein. And when she's called out on it, she just didn't care. She's like, I said what I said. I didn't say it was that Jeffrey Epstein. I just said a Jeffrey Epstein. So I don't know. It's just one of the, she knows she can say, they know they can say these things, and their party will never hear the truth. You know, you could say that on CNN and MSNBC and on your podcasts and on your social media channels as a Democrat, and your voters, your viewers, they're going to gobble it up. They just will. I mean, there's no opposition to it. So they're not tuned into this channel. They're not tuned into other channels. They don't know the truth. The good thing about this channel that I do actually catch a lot of them, but I mean, right now, not enough. I mean, we catch 500,000 viewers a day on this channel, on my channel, Rep America, every day. And 90% of them are not, 95% of them are not subscribers. So we are catching a lot of the people on the left here, but that's still not enough. I know that it's gotten better, but dude, they can run their mouth and say whatever they want unchecked, bro. And everyone believes them. So that is a problem. And I think you're right. Laura Trump is actually great, in my opinion. Laura Trump is fantastic. I think she can do more than just organize for the campaign. I have a feeling she can be part of the campaign and do really well.
Communist ideas, your time is up. You are out of the party. So as they're heading into these midterms next year, get ready to see more of defunding the police, of government-run grocery stores, of taxing neighborhoods based on race. That is what they're focused on. And unfortunately for them, I don't know that speaks very well to the bulk of America.
Larry, where do you stand on this health care compromise? For example, everybody knows Republicans didn't vote for Obamacare, but people's rates are going up.
Again, Eric is saying in the chat here, says they hear fear and lies. I think you're saying maybe fear and lies, like you pointed out, and will still vote for them. They need to split this party fast and clamp down on it. Laura is brilliant. I think the Republican Party is not very much a cult-like party. I feel like the way I see it, it is split. And there are different factions of the Republican Party. And I think that creates a pretty good field for the next elections. I think the Democratic Party has not been split. It's been very much a cult with one leader and everyone following. And if they don't follow, they get ousted. They get canceled. As you guys know, that's cancel culture left, right? So the fact that the left is now starting to get fractured is a good thing for them, for the left. They need that. And I think it's a good thing for our country, even if it's not a good thing for us on the right. It's a good thing for our country because it'll make for a better competition, and we need better competition. The right side right now is uncontested with good ideas, and I think that we need more competition from the left. I think we need more people on the left to have their own voices separate from the rest of their own party, so that they can talk about their own ideas more openly. Because I'm sure a lot of the people on the left have good ideas. They just can't talk about them because they'll get blown away, bro. They just can't. So I'm actually excited because I'm in the business world. As you guys know, I run multiple businesses. I always tell people when people talk to me about like, oh no, aren't you worried about competition? It's like, no, man, competition to me is a good thing. It makes me work harder. And here's another thing that you got to remember about competition. Where you have good competition, you have another set of good ideas out there that you get to look at and design your arguments to, or your responses to, or how you plan to go into the market and win. And so that makes for a better industry overall, in my opinion. I like competition. Think about one thing for a second. If there is no good competition, then you have to be the one coming up with all the good ideas. And what good is it to have just you coming out trailblazing? And when you do, you can only do so much of it. You can only pave the way so far, and you can do good, but it's always better when you have competition pushing you and showing you different things that you could be or should be doing or looking at to compete with.
It looked like the president wants to do something with the subsidies. It looks like the House doesn't. What's the remedy?
Well, the president has said he wants to come up with something great for the country. Obviously, Obamacare failed epically, and people have been hurt all across this country because of it. And maybe it is time that we sit down and find something that is a better fit for the American people. The president has talked about this and said we want to come up with a better solution. At the end of the day, I think that what we saw with the government shutdown is just more indication that the Democrats do not care truly about the American people. They were willing to put people at risk who were flying all across this country. They were willing to not pay our military members, our TSA workers, our air traffic controllers for months on end. It was a disgrace. But if that at the end of the day, Brian, has led to a place where maybe we're actually going to get health care that works for the country, maybe that will be the silver lining in all of this. We'll
all right,
see.
so what's coming up on Saturday? We understand you sit down with Navy Secretary John Phelan. Of course, a lot of pressure on the Navy as they sit on the 7 miles, in some cases, from the coast of Venezuela.
Min, I think I understand what you're saying, but I will say, man, the Democratic Party has been about fear mongering ever since I can remember. You guys know I was on the left. Even like 3-4 years ago, I was on the left side. It's very much fear mongering, and now when they have Orange Man Bad, they just create fear about Orange Man Bad. That's where you get the Nazi, the Hitler, the fascism, threat to democracy, threat to our Constitution, all this kind of stuff. It's all fear mongering, and they get all their base worked up. How do you think they get all the people out there in the streets to rally? And basically, people have no job out there and hold signs all day because these people they truthfully think that Donald Trump is a threat to them in some way. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, we talked about that with him, with Operation Southern Spear underway and what he's doing as Secretary of the Navy. While I was there at the sit down, by the way, I got to have the most epic time in an F-18. I broke the speed of sound. I got to pull almost 7 Gs yesterday. You can see it this weekend. And then there I am. I'm all suited up. Let me tell you something. That's about 55 pounds of gear. That's what they don't tell you before you get in one of these fighter jets. It was one of the coolest experiences ever. But maybe even cooler, Brian, was that I got to play golf.
Edward, bro. Love Donald Trump, baby. Hell yeah. He's the great white hope, bro.
The great white hope.
The great white hope, baby.
The great white hope.
And listen, guys, what are your thoughts on Laura Trump, man? I heard that some people say that she would be a good candidate for VP or I don't know what, bro. What do you guys think about it?
Golf with my niece, Kai Trump. We went out on the golf course together. We're talking about, what it's like for her to be the oldest of the grandchildren of President Trump's. This is the first time she's done an interview like this. And I got to be honest, I hate to admit it, she absolutely kicked my butt in golf. But I don't have a lot of time for that these days. So one day, when I got 4 hours a day to dedicate to it, maybe I'll be a little better. And Saturday night at 9, I'll see everybody there.
That'll be great. But you actually were golfing against maybe a future pro golfer and a Division I golfer. So give yourself some slack. Laura,
thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. I look forward to your show right after Thanksgiving, 9 o'clock on Saturday. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Love her too, bro. She's awesome. Each drop closer to madness. Min, I got to learn a little bit more about the drip that you're talking about. I'm curious about that. And so let's hear about this. This is about a Nigerian Catholic girls that are freed as a result of Trump issuing warnings. Let's see what we got here.
In Nigeria last week are now free. Nigeria has seen a series of similar kidnappings in recent days, including 24 schoolgirls abducted by armed groups in Nigeria last week are now free. Nigeria has seen a series of similar kidnappings in recent days, including at a Catholic school where 250 students remain unaccounted for.
Wow.
William Lajeunesse is following this story. He is in our London bureau with more. William, to you.
Hey, Molly. Crime, extortion, kidnappings, all too common in Nigeria, which is Africa's largest country, receives around $900 million a year in U.S. aid. But as you mentioned, there's been a series of kidnappings in just the last 2 weeks. And in fact, the video you're seeing here, just released in the last few hours, is the exception. All the girls rescued. Here's what happened. Last Monday, armed gunmen stormed the government-run girls' boarding school, killing a staff member, abducting 25 students. One escaped at the time. Then yesterday, Nigeria's president said he did not release any details, but they say the girls had been rescued. Others claim, including the bandits, that they were actually released unharmed after negotiations. Now, just 4 days after that incident, hundreds of miles away, gunmen abducted 300 students, 15 teachers at St. Mary's boarding school. 50 escaped, leaving, as you mentioned, about 250 still in captivity. Then there was a third incident last week. Gunmen attacked a church, killing at least 2, abducting 38 parishioners who, again, remain in captivity. These incidents have strained relations with the U.S., with President Trump threatening military intervention to stop what some call Christian genocide.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities.
So in the last decade, about 1,500 students have been abducted. Some have been Christian, others not. But Boko Haram, as the president's referring to, has targeted churches and persecuted parishioners. Molly?
Yeah, and now the eye of the president, really the eye of the world, more on Nigeria as these stories continue to come out. William Lajeunesse, thank you for highlighting this. Appreciate it. Mike?
Hey, everyone.
There we go. Just going back to this building. Holy cow, look at all that. Let me see if I can zoom in on this for you guys. Looks like there's some like sparks or some things coming out of the top of that building. Can you see that on your screen? Yeah, you can see that. Up here, stuff is just like exploding out of the building. This is Hong Kong again, guys, so we're just keeping an eye on this. And it's pretty, I mean, looks like it's escalating. Looks like it's not stopping whatsoever. It's fucking crazy, bro. Hopefully everyone's all right. Hopefully they're able to evacuate. And then we got the Macy's parade, Thanksgiving Day parade. They're still getting everything prepped up there. We got JD Vance out here with the troops. Let's see if he gave us a discussion here. So those of you asking about this situation here in Hong Kong, let me pull up some numbers for you. It says here there's at least 36 killed in this fire, guys. Wow, that's horrible. 279 people are still missing. Wow. It says here at least 36 people have been killed in the fire that took hold of 7 apartment buildings in Wang Fuk Court. Dude, that's crazy, bro. What is this? Yeah. Like I said, guys, it looks like a freaking scene out of Batman. It's just wild. And it's been like this. I mean, here, I'll go back 4 hours. Here, this is 4 hours ago. Here is 3.5 hours ago. Here's the fire department rolling in. You got some scaffolding falling apart. The fire's just lit all the scaffolding and all the metal sparking. It's going crazy. So this right here, guys, is an hour ago. And now we're coming up to live. And now this is live. Wow, look at that. This whole thing is on fire, bro. Everywhere inside the building is on fire. Everywhere in the building is on fire. Look at that. Crazy. How is that possible? How does that happen? Wow. Absolutely nuts. Guys, I finally finished this book yesterday on a different note. While we're still taking a look at this and keeping an eye on it, I finally finished this book, Discrimination and Disparities by Thomas Sowell. And I got a ton of notes that I took on this book. Literally all these notes right here. Literally just tons and tons and tons of notes. So much. Some crazy things about slavery I never knew. Dude, that top of that building is going nuts. Dude, yeah, anyway, it's a fantastic book, guys. Discrimination, Disparities. Highly recommend this book. If you're looking for a book to read, this is definitely a good one. I highly recommend you pick this one up. Really, really good book. A lot of good facts. And Thomas Sowell, he explains it in a way that's easy to understand. And you learn a lot from that. There's a lot to pick up from that book. So if you are looking for a new book, man, I highly recommend Discrimination and Disparities. And what's up, Ange? Angela Mata. What's happening? Yeah, it's pretty wild. We got some breaking news. We got 2 National Guard soldiers shot in D.C. This just happened.
Again, Kristi Noem confirms 2 National Guardsmen have been shot. We don't know their circumstances. There is one suspect in custody, and you are looking at a live shot right there from Washington, D.C.
So guys, there's
2 different cameras here, if you give me a moment.
So guys, there's 2 National Guard soldiers shot in Washington, D.C. You're looking at a live image.
One moment.
of that location, it looks like. Yeah. And I'm looking for more shots of this if I can find it. But this is literally, this just happened right now.
Again, a suspect is in custody. AP reports 2 National Guard soldiers were shot and their conditions are not immediately known. Again, we don't know the conditions. The White House press secretary said the White House is aware and is actively monitoring this tragic situation. The president has been briefed. This was just 2-3 blocks from the White House.
Wow.
2 or 3 blocks from the White House. The scene is secured. The police say the scene is secured, and 1 suspect is in custody. The scene is secured, and 1 suspect is in custody.
Here we go.
Let me show you where this happened on a map. So this is at 17th and I Street Northwest in D.C. 17th and I Street Northwest. Two or 3 blocks from the White House. I'm going to pull it up right now and just show you on a map where this is. If you give me a moment here. See a bunch of National Guard right there. National Guard troops right there. So we'll leave it on this for a second. And in a second, I'll show you where this is. Again, very close to the White House. 3 blocks away. Really quick, let me put on the screen really quick just so you can see it here from Google Maps. I want to show you that red marker is where it is. The red marker there. Hold on a second here. See the red marker right there? That's the intersection. And the White House is right here. So it's basically like 3 blocks from the White House. There's the White House here. And it's 1 block over this way and 2 up this way. It's the red marker there. All right, let's try to get you some more information.
So I got it up
let's
here.
hope these soldiers are
literally
okay.
like, you're looking at how far it is from the White House. You're staring at the White House right.
Oh,
right
hold
here.
on a second.
And it's literally just around the corner. It's literally just 2 blocks down from the White House. 2 National Guard
Now, AZ Intel said that CBS News reported that DC Fire said they transported 3 gunshot victims. So I'll have to check on that report. Hang on. The Fox News says their condition is unknown. Again, this is about 3 blocks from the White House.
I don't know, man, if they're alive or not. It looks like they were transported to the hospital is all we know at the moment. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, there's a picture floating around. I can't show this on the air, but there's a photo that Roz Alerts just posted, a graphic photo that if it is, I can't confirm the photo, but it's a disturbing photo of a National Guard soldier on the ground, lying on the ground being tended to.
Yeah, this is it. This is horrible. Here's another look.
Let me check some other reporting here.
They're gonna zoom
and
out
I'll try
in a
to get
sec.
you more. Hang on a moment. Hang on a moment here. Give me 1 moment. Give me 1 moment.
I'm with AP. My shots go out.
You are seeing National Guard, U.S. Marshal, ATF there. 3 gunshot victims were transported to the hospital. 3 gunshot victims were transported to the hospital, and I don't know who the 3rd victim is. Okay? But again, 3 gunshot victims were transported to the hospital. That is from DC Fire and EMS via the Washington Post. So 1 suspect in custody. A suspect in custody, the scene is secure. 3 gunshot victims total transported to the hospital. 2 people who were shot were National Guardsmen.
Here's another shot of that area. And I'm just trying to pull up more images and more video if there is. If you guys know of any,
It's
feel free
around
to send
3
it into
blocks
Discord.
from the White House. Let me get the ticker up here. Let me get the ticker up, if you give me a second, so we can keep people informed as to what's going on. 2 National Guard soldiers have been shot in Washington, D.C. around 3 blocks from the White House. Their conditions are unknown.
What's up, Deshaun? Yeah, bro, I'm gonna guess the same thing as you,
The scene is
I can't think of anybody
secure,
on the right that
and
would
a
want to
suspect
shoot National Guard, man.
is
So
in custody.
hopefully they're okay, man. We don't have any
3
word on them yet. I'm looking right now to
gunshot
find out what's up.
victims
As soon as I pull it
were
up, I'm gonna let you know.
transported to
I think
the
it's 3
hospital.
people total, of which 2 are National Guard.
Okay, let me get the ticker up as we continue to look at a live shot from Washington, D.C. More emergency vehicles on the way, it looks like. Look at this. We do not know their conditions right now. We don't know what exactly happened here. An official tells ABC the White House is currently on lockdown, says Selena Wong. The White House is currently on lockdown, according to ABC News. Now, Alert Page says they heard that one of them had, one person had multiple gunshot wounds to the lower body. That's Alert Page, who maybe they found that on a scanner somewhere. I don't have a DC live scanner I can play for you right now. I'm not seeing that right here. So, available to me. But Alert Page, who's a reliable source, they said they heard that one of the victims had multiple gunshot wounds to the lower body.
Dr. N is asking, Washington, D.C., is it a high percentage of blacks?
There is
yes.
a photo, unconfirmed photo going around, I cannot confirm it, that shows a National Guardsman on the ground. One suspect in custody.
If anybody has or knows of any photos or videos or anything
thank you to our
regarding this, feel free
moderators
to
who are
send it
here.
in
I really
Discord.
appreciate it.
I'll put it
Moderators,
up.
thank you. President Trump is in Florida at Mar-a-Lago, by the way. Here's some yelling. Get back on the sidewalk, they say.
$11K, baby. Thank you for subscribing, guys. I know this is kind of a bad moment, but appreciate the support. Thank you. We just hit 11K, bro.
I have not seen any kind of reliable
That's
reports
11K
about,
in 2 months. That's strong, guys.
Their conditions.
Thank you. Appreciate the support.
About, oh, AP? Hold on a second here. I'm seeing a report from AP. Hang on a moment. Two National Guard members are in critical condition, according to an AP source, and the suspect was shot. Okay, so that's a new report. AP says two National Guard members are in critical condition after shooting near White House. Suspect shot.
So you guys just heard that. Looks like there's two National Guardsmen that are shot in critical condition, and the gunman has been shot.
B&O News for mentioning the AP report as well. So again, AP now reports that two National Guard members are in critical condition, and the suspect also was shot. Wow. Let's hope they survive, if that is indeed true, that they're in critical condition. So again, Associated Press says two National Guard members are in critical condition after shooting near White House. Suspect shot as well. Oh, what is this? There's a video of aftermath. Wow, crazy. I just saw a video I cannot show you. I'm going to post a link in the chat to it. It's a video of the aftermath of the shooting taken from like a nearby building or something, showing a soldier, I think, being tended to on the ground. Again, I can't show the video. I don't have the rights to it. And I'm not going to show people on the ground. But it appears to show like a bus stop with glass, broken glass.
Are you not going to hang out with us?
And again, I just posted a link, and I have reposted it on my X account.
Dude,
what I'll actually do is
two National Guards
for more videos
in Washington, D.C.
and photos.
And it looks like they shot the suspect may have been shot too. That's what it looks like here.
X account.
Yeah.
But I just am looking at it right now. Do you see both of them on the ground? Again, it's a video taken from a distance of the aftermath scene. So I just reposted it on my X account. I will pin my X account, and I just posted a link in the chat as well. So it looks to me in that video, are we seeing
Chat's up here.
one? Are we seeing two different soldiers on the ground? I think we are, and it's right near a
that's not
bus
the chat.
stop. It looks like.
Hey, everybody.
That was
Terrible,
the chat right
terrible,
there.
terrible.
That is so bad.
Right here, here's
Terrible.
the chat right here,
shot?
and they're both of these are chats.
Hang on a moment.
Did a Democrat shoot?
I mean, who would want to? Which person on the right do you think would ever shoot a National Guardsman?
Well, I know, but
You
is
know?
it like a Muslim? Like, what is the, like, why?
We don't know. We have no idea. And Ange says hello. Everyone's saying hello to you.
Hey. I love you guys.
Again, AP reports that both soldiers are in critical condition.
Are you not hot in this office?
I am.
It's very hot.
Yeah. But I also need a coffee.
And that the suspect was also shot. Who is the suspect? We do not know.
Welcome back.
There's a statement from the D.C. National Guard via Kelly Meyer of News Nation. She got a statement from the D.C. National Guard which says, we're aware of the incident and we are working closely with the Metro PD and other law enforcement agencies. The health and safety of our service members is our top priority as we continue to support citizens and visitors of Washington, D.C. So to repeat, 2 National Guard soldiers shot in Washington, D.C. AP reports they're both in critical condition.
Okay, guys, so we are currently looking at a few things that are happening right now. So there is this, and it's this thing just got worse. Look at this. So this is Hong Kong. This is a fire in Hong Kong. There's 36 that have been killed in this fire, and 279 people are missing at the moment. You're staring at one of, I believe, 7 apartment buildings in Hong Kong that are currently on fire. This is live. You're actually, let me click this. Now it's live. And you're looking at firefighters that have been trying to put it out, but I mean, it's just on fire on every single floor, almost, it looks like, and everywhere around this area. So that's one screen that we're looking at. We're also looking at here where there were 2 National Guards in Washington, D.C. that have been shot, and apparently 1 suspect that was shot as well. So that's 3 total that were shot in this situation. We have a couple different screens. Thank you. And
whose chat is this? Oh, Associated Press?
Yeah, that's AP News. And we got this shot here. This is looks like from a helicopter.
Shot but not dead.
From what we hear, the 2 National Guards are in critical condition, and we don't know about the other people. You can pull that mic up if you want.
Who's gonna tell him? I don't want. Hello.
Yeah, so this is a screen. This is like a zoomed out view. This is the Hong Kong fire. And this is, again, Washington, D.C., where 2 were shot. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why the suspect shot them.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out why right now. I'm looking everywhere to figure out exactly what went down.
That's according to AP. AP says suspects, AP, suspects' injuries not believed to be life-threatening.
Well, that's good. So we can hear about what happened.
Suspect
we can find out what the heck is going on. Someone to hold accountable.
Guard in shooting of National Guard soldiers.
Lightning Rider in the chat is trying to make it, trying to avoid, talking about politics.
So,
listen,
hold on a
we
second.
also don't want to make it left or right, but it seems like everybody on the left keeps like shooting all the people on the right or anybody that disagrees with them. So it is what it is. You never see the right going and like looting and, just destroying America. It's always the Democrats, or liberals, or just the insane people. So it is what it is. Sorry you don't like facts.
Yeah, exactly, and that's really what it is. Nobody's trying to make it about anything, but there's a very simple reality. And it's, I don't know of anybody on the right that would try to shoot and kill or injure or hurt any National Guard. If anything, it's the left that's completely out of control and completely against any form of law enforcement at the moment.
Like anything to you, Lightning, will be laughable because clearly your side is always in denial about everything you guys do. Everything.
Mismedication, dude. Love it. Gotta hit him hard. As I said in the beginning, guys, ever since Charlie Kirk got assassinated, the gloves are off. We're going to call it out. It is what it is. So, And
then you can just sit there and say, oh, I'm not on the left. But it's funny because your actions will, say it for you. Because anytime someone brings up anything about the right or anything, you'll be like, no, and you'll start arguing. Actually, that's what Medi used to do when he was on the left, right? Anytime me and my friends or some of my other friends that are more conservative, they would say something, he would literally defend the left more than he ever did for the right. And it was so funny, but we didn't like really bully him because it's something that you need to come to yourself. No one can like tell you have to be on whatever side, it's a personal decision.
If this person is fully conservative, as they keep saying in the chat, then
he's a liar.
Of course they all lie, but if they are fully conservative, then they would be appalled by what's happening from the left.
Exactly.
They wouldn't be acting like that. They would be as upset as everyone, all of us that are on the right.
Exactly.
Let me show you where this happened.
Mismedication, bro. Love it. Go get some
That's
groceries,
where it
woman.
happened. Okay, look. Guys, I'm going to show you this map here. Check this out. All right. So here's the White House right here. There's the White House right there. And then maybe 3 blocks away here at the corner of 17th Street Northwest and I Street Northwest.
Beautiful.
If you go here, it's right there. It's that.
Richard,
I
man,
believe
so she's very smart.
Well,
and
actually, it could be on one of two sides.
Yes, sir. I know. I know the left is allergic to facts, but we're not, and we're not afraid to speak our mind. So you're gonna have to just, be responsible for the idiocy that you're creating on the left, because we're gonna call it out.
There's 2 bus stops on opposite corners, so I need to look and see which corner we're talking.
And that's the crazy part, is these people on the left, they're never being held accountable. They're never having their feet held to the fire. They're just sitting here running around doing whatever they want, and every time they do something wrong, they transition into some other gender, and they're no longer what they were yesterday, so they can't be held accountable for what they were yesterday, because they're not that anymore. They were this, then now they're, no, we're not that anymore, now we're this, and then now you have like this person supposedly is not a liberal, supposedly is not on the left, and that's what they all do. Oh no, I'm not on the left, but yet they have all the talking points of CNN and MSNBC. Please, bro, get out of here with that.
Make sure here. So it's I Street Northwest.
Michael is right, bro. It's TDS, bro.
Northwest?
Michael is right. It's pure TDS, man. They hate orange man bad. And you would think they would like Orange Man because apparently they're supposed to like minorities, right? Orange Man, how many Orange Men do you know? I don't know any Orange Men. So he's a minority. They should like him. They should do a DEI program just for Trump. But they can't handle it, man. They can't handle it. They lost their minds. They've completely lost it.
Yeah, you can see it says Farragut West Station. That is it's right here. See, it says Farragut West Metro entrance. This is about 3 blocks from the White House. It happened right here. There's a bus stop here, and there's video showing what appears to be the 2 soldiers on the ground, right, and glass broken at this bus stop here, right here. So again, this is about 3 blocks away from the White House, and this is the southeast corner of that intersection. You can see it, and it does say Farragut West Metro Station on the sign there on the left.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to push everybody 1 block back, okay?
They're pushing the press 1 block back. You can hear it right now. So it happened on that opposite corner, it looks like. Is that right or no? Which side are they on right now? Now I'm a little confused. I have to figure this out. No, it happened on the corner with that Farragut West sign on it. Anyway, sorry, I got a little confused because which direction the camera is pointing in. Yeah, it's not a huge deal. But anyways, the intersection is 17th Street Northwest and I Street Northwest. You can go to that on Google Maps, 17th Street Northwest and I Street Northwest. About 3 blocks from the White House. So the press is being pushed back a block right now.
Jason says lightning is just Antifa.
There's an unconfirmed photo of the suspect that's floating around. I cannot show it here. I have reposted it on my X account. It's unconfirmed, this photo. Intel Point Alert posted it. If I hear that it's more confirmed, I'll let you know. I will again post a link to aftermath video taken from a distance. I just posted it in the chat.
And Quifa,
it's terrible.
bro, literally.
You seem to see, well, actually, you see one soldier on the ground. Do you see a suspect on the ground or not? Definitely looks like you see a soldier on the ground. And then I think you see a second one on the ground too. Posted it in the chat. It's soldier on the ground, and then, well, actually, you see one soldier on the ground. Do you see a suspect on the ground or not? From a distance. So, who did this? The suspect is in custody. He was reportedly shot and severely wounded, according to President Trump. He was severely wounded. President Trump says the 2 soldiers were critically wounded. AP says they're both in critical condition. I mean, it certainly seems like this information would suggest it's a targeted occurrence, a targeted shooting, but we have to wait and see what the police say, what the authorities say. I would assume there'll be some kind of press conference at some point, but I have not heard about it yet. We're bringing you live breaking news coverage here.
I can random, bro. But he says, my point is that unless they are paid handsomely in mass, the only people who show up are AARP members and hip replacement recipients, bro.
moderating, thank you. Beth Mythical is moderating, thank you. Leslie Ladyhawk. Also, over there on Twitch, Big Ball of Yarn, Idaho Star, I Got That Fire, Matthew Kohai 3, and Surly Dev. Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. And thank you to
Christina,
our,
Christina says Democrats are so heartless, evil monsters.
Thank you to our
and they're anti-American
as well.
Very much so.
Kay Lowry Body is there. Thank you, Kay. Margaret Riley and all of our other moderators as well. You can see ATF is there.
Folks, I hate to break up this, but I need to pull through here to exit, so thank you.
Huge law enforcement presence.
This is a big shot, an overall shot of DC at the moment. Let's take a look at this Hong Kong fire again.
Guys, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, just posted. And Pam Bondi said federal agents are on the scene of the horrific shooting of 2 National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. Pray for our National Guard. Kash Patel says, Director of the FBI, Kash Patel says, FBI is engaged and assisting with the investigation in Washington, D.C. after National Guard members were shot this afternoon. Please pray for them and we will update with more information as we are able.
Sir, could you just be aware that I'm right behind you? Yeah, so you know, thank you.
Just so you know, so I'm with ABC News. So
now you're right in my shot.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I'm with ABC News and I'm literally staking out this spot. So I'll move for now, but once my camera,
right here.
yeah, do your thing. But I'm just saying, once my camera comes, this is where I'll be. But for now, it's all yours.
Well, I'm not gonna, I mean, you can't set up in front of me where I'm at right now.
Well, that's why I've been standing here before you.
Rinda Lynn said, what state were they from, the National Guard members? That I do not know.
And I'm here with the whole News Nation. Yeah, I did, because I remember being here. It's fine. You'll be fine.
Idris Ali of Reuters reports that as of today, there were about 2,200 National Guard troops deployed in D.C., and this included troops from D.C., Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, West Virginia, Georgia, and Alabama. National Guard troops from multiple states have been there.
Yeah, I heard that bully from ABC, bro. Dude trying to claim a spot out
Again,
in
President
public.
Trump is in Florida. He is not in D.C. right
Oh,
now.
bro, these guys are lucky I'm not out there, bro. I'll be bullying these guys. What are you talking about, bro? Trying to set up in front of me. Get out of here, dude. Trying to stand in the spot like you're holding a park. You ever seen people jump out of their friend's car to go stand in front of a parking spot to hold a parking spot?
I'm not seeing it at
That's
the moment.
what it sounded
There
like to me.
was a ground stop in D.C. at Reagan Airport. I'm not seeing it right now, though. Because I just went to the FAA site, and it's not listed there. So maybe they opened it up. They were holding departures at Reagan Airport. Pete Muntean says normal operations have now resumed at Reagan Airport. No flights have been canceled. That's Pete Muntean from CNN who confirms that. For those who didn't see it, let me just show you what President Trump again said on his Truth Social. That's from President Trump right there. He says, the animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen with both being critically wounded and now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as President of the United States, and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you.
I'm just thinking about what you would see if you pulled up their blue, whatever, social media and saw those same people.
Now, we have not heard any kind of...
You guys remember those people that were happy when Charlie Kirk got shot? Remember those people? I'm just thinking what those same people are thinking now when they see the National Guard shot. And they're probably excited about it. They're probably happy. They're probably saying, yeah, I got what he deserved. And probably saying, oh, yeah, you know... shouldn't have done what you did then, blah, 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 all this kind of crazy shit, bro. It's like, fuck, bro, these guys are out of control, man. Out of control. I'm just can only imagine what they're saying regarding this. You guys can see it too, right?
Give me a moment here, guys. Thanks for your patience.
You're exactly right. They are unwell between the ears. Oh, look, Min already timed someone out. Look, look at that. Min already timed someone out that said Trump's America caused it. Look at that, dude. I didn't even see that one. That was quick. Good. Good, dude.
One moment, please.
Yeah, dude, random, hell yeah. I love it, dude.
Dan Bonji.
Good looking out,
Oh, hold
bro.
on a second. Breaking news. Breaking news. CBS News is reporting this was an ambush attack.
Oh, wow.
CBS News' Weijia Zhang reports
Wow.
that the National Guardsman involved shooting was an ambush attack, according to 2 federal law enforcement sources, reports Anna Schechter of CBS News. So CBS News is reporting that it was an ambush attack.
Wow, dude, they did an ambush attack. That's crazy. And you guys know what an ambush attack is, right? It's when they kind of like bait them. They kind of like set up a situation to have the guards be somewhere, or they know that they're going to be somewhere and they're waiting for them. Yeah, same here, State Line. Same here, bro. Yep.
Breaking news, they're dead. Both members are dead.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. Both soldiers are dead.
Wow.
The governor of West Virginia has confirmed that both soldiers are dead.
Wow.
Guys, let me show you this right now. Breaking news, they're both dead. Hold on a second here. Let me put this on the screen for you right now. I'm getting it on the screen for you right now.
Wow.
This is from Governor Patrick Morrisey.
That is horrible, man. Wow, dude. Come on, man.
This is, you can see, 37th governor of the state of West Virginia. Certainly looks to a reporter I follow reposted this as well. Governor Patrick Morrisey, Denise and I are devastated by the news that the 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard were shot earlier today. Wait. I'm sorry, one of them died. He said one of them died? So a reporter said he said 2 of them died. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm showing you the wrong one. Here, I'm going to show you the right post now. 2 of them died. There, both died. Sorry, I had the wrong post on the screen. It says right there, both of them died. Sorry for the confusion. I thought it said both died. Yes. So there it is right there. Governor Patrick Morrisey. It is with great sorrow that we can confirm both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C. have passed away from their injuries. How terrible. These brave West Virginians lost their lives in the service of their country. We are in ongoing contact with federal officials as the investigation continues. Our entire state grieves with their families, their loved ones, and the Guard community. West Virginia will never forget their service or their sacrifice, and we will demand full accountability for this horrific act. Wow, terrible.
Wow, bro, that's crazy. These guys have lost it, man. These guys have completely lost it. They did an ambush attack on 2 National Guardsmen. And it's just been reported that they're both dead. God, that's a fucking disaster, bro. What is going on, man?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just terrible. Just terrible. Okay, so again, that is now confirmed. 2 soldiers from the West Virginia National Guard who were serving in D.C. have been shot and killed in an apparent attack.
Ambush attack. Ambush attack, bro. These people are animals, bro. People are absolute animals.
Wow, unbelievable. Just terrible. So again, this happened about 3 blocks from the White House at 17th Street Northwest and I Street Northwest. And this, it appears to be an attack. It appears to be an attack from everything we're hearing. And the suspect was shot and is severely wounded, but reportedly not with life-threatening wounds. Unbelievable.
Nick asks, did they shoot the shooter? Yes, I think they did.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just posted. Here's what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent
shot
said.
as well in the hospital.
He said the National Guard. Oops, hold on a minute.
Can you not?
Audio just got turned on.
Okay.
The National Guard has been working around the clock to keep Washington, D.C. safe, and their presence has made a real positive difference. Today's senseless act of violence against innocent servicemen is utterly disgusting. Please keep the families of these brave soldiers in your prayers.
Guys, you're looking at the Hong Kong apartment fire as well. So that's what I have on the screen right now. There are 36 people confirmed dead in this Hong Kong apartment fire that apparently there's 7 apartment buildings on fire. You're looking into the window of one of them where I believe those are firefighters going through, trying to find people, trying to rescue anybody that may still be alive.
We have yet to have identified.
I'm going to go back a little bit.
We have yet to hear the identity
so you can see the scale of this.
The suspect in this shooting.
I'm going to mute that one for a second, come back to this. This right here, guys, is a apartment building in Hong Kong, 1 of 7, or you're looking at probably 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 on your screen. It's hard to see. It's dark there. It's nighttime, and this thing looks like Gotham City, some kind of Batman movie, some kind of crazy shit here. It's absolutely wild. Everything is on fire. Multiple stories, I mean, at some point, if I keep going back in time on this live screen, look at this. Everything's on fire, but look at all the windows that have all the fires in them. These are all windows with apartments on fire. So that's what you're staring at. I'm just going back here. This is just going back and back. Look, these are, now we're going forward a little bit. This is the fire in Hong Kong, guys, right here. You're looking at some crazy, explosions and things that are happening. I don't know how that much of that many buildings could be on fire at the same time. That's a lot, guys. It's not like a little, like one apartment. It's the whole, this is way zoomed out. It's the whole freaking, like 7 whole apartment buildings. Big ones, not small ones. We're not talking about little rinky-dink, little baby. These are actual big apartment buildings. And I don't know, dude, that's ballsy for the fire department to be inside walking around in those apartments, because to me, looking at what I'm looking at, I mean, I'm no firefighter or architect, but it doesn't look like these apartment buildings are going to stand up much longer, to be honest with you. Let's go back to this.
Another thing to consider here. So
again, guys, on this side of the news, right here in Washington, D.C., this happened just moments ago. 2 National Guardsmen were shot and killed in Washington, D.C. This just happened. It's reported that it was an ambush, and it's reported that the suspect has also been shot and is at the hospital. And again, just waiting for a lot of this to be confirmed. It looks like it is unfortunately confirmed that the 2 National Guardsmen that were shot have been reported to be killed. Yeah, it's absolute disaster, bro. These lunatics have lost their minds, and I guess they decided that they were morally right in ambushing and killing 2 National Guards. They have decided what morality is, and to them, morality was to shoot and kill 2 National Guards. Crazy. Absolutely wild. The problem is, man, they're not being held to account, man. These radical lunatics are not being held to account. Just like, guys, think about it. Think of it. Just like all of these judges are letting these criminals out of jail after they commit crime after crime after crime. The same thing you could see. I'm sure these people that ambushed these National Guards were not our greatest American citizens. You know, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say they probably, who knows, maybe they are criminals in the past that were let out. But even if they were not, the fact that in America, we've been doing a very poor job of holding criminals to account. It kind of gives a green light to more people to do these types of things. So that's why when you hear things like this, I want to put this on the screen right now. When you hear Jasmine Crockett say, just because someone's committed a crime doesn't make them a criminal. When you hear Jasmine Crockett say those words, that's not a healthy thing for lawmakers to be saying. It's not good. Especially in a time when we need more law and order, we need to be making a bigger we need to be holding people to account more often, not less. We need to be stopping them from going out and doing things again on the streets. So when you tell criminals just because you committed a crime doesn't make you criminal, that's not the way to approach this.
Has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
Here you go. Listen to this.
Completely different. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
So when you have morons, complete morons, idiots going around talking like this, bro, like what in the hell are you talking about? What are you saying, bro? I mean, it's bad. It just blows your mind. It just blows your mind. How does that make any sense, bro? How does this make any sense whatsoever? Listen to this again. It's fucking crazy.
That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is
what a loser, bro. What a loser. You are a congresswoman. How are you going out and putting a message like that out to the people, especially when you need to turn the crime down? You know what I'm saying? Especially, let me just throw this out there. You're a black woman. And for you to go out there and say things like that as a black woman, when you know that you have a lot of other black people that are looking up to you, and when the facts are that the majority, or let's just say 50% of the actual homicides in our country are committed by black people against black people. And you are coming out there as a leader, as a political leader, and you're saying because you committed a crime doesn't make you a criminal? What exactly are you trying to do? It's not about who, the color of the skin. I'm not saying a black person did this. I'm just saying in general, forget about You know, of course, nobody knows who did this. Who knows who it could be? But I'm just saying, in general, that's not a good thing to say. I'm not saying a black person did this. I'm not saying a Democrat did this. But my guess is, if you were to ask me to guess, I would say it's a Democrat, liberal, or a social democrat, or a democratic socialist. But dude, as a black congresswoman, where there's a lot of black people that look up to you, and the majority of the homicides in our country are committed by black people, and the majority of the people that they're committing those homicides against are black people, dude, you shouldn't be running around saying that. Actually, the opposite. You got to be saying, dude, we got to do a better job of not committing these types of crimes, or crimes in general. It doesn't make any sense, bro. Everything from the liberals is backwards. Everything is backwards. Instead of bringing them closer to accountability, instead of helping their party to do more of the right things, instead of helping the culture, instead of helping the mentality, they're doing the opposite. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. The opposite of accountability. She basically said, nah, you don't have to have any accountability. Just because you committed a crime doesn't make you a criminal. What? What? What are we doing, bro? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Suspect is, and we're waiting to hear more and find out more. Certainly condolences to the families of those two West Virginia National Guardsmen who were shot and killed in an apparent attack today near the White House. And we are continuing to bring you live coverage. I have not heard about...
Bro, you don't have to argue about the Nazis being socialist. It's literally their name. They're literally, that's what they mean, is they're socialists. That's literally in their actual, what they call themselves. Their full name was the National Socialist German Workers' Party. That's who they were, National Socialists.
That's all we've heard right now, one suspect.
Somebody asked me to take my stupid hat off. Where is that chat? Let me put it up so you guys can see it. Here. He says, Vibe Solo. Vibe Solo is vibing right now. He's feeling himself. He says, take that stupid ass hat. Take that stupid ass hat off, jerk. Okay, here, I'll take it off. Here we go. I'll take it off. Here you go. Oh, there you go, bro. How about that? Is that better? Is that better, bro? How's that? That's right. That's right. You were right. I needed to take that one off, bro. Go tactical on this one. Right, Random? That's right, bro. Exactly. It's time for the black one, bro. The gloves are off, baby. You were right. Honestly, thank you for letting me know, Vibe Solo. That was a good one. Good call. As I drink my black coffee with my dark black MAGA hat. You guys like that? That was good, right? Got him. Yeah. Yeah. These Democrats, bro, they've lost it. Their TDS went crazy, and they've convinced their party that they're justified in fighting back against ICE, against throwing rocks against ICE, against blocking their vehicles, against committing violence against ICE, against committing violence against law enforcement. They've lost it. They've completely lost it. Yep. Just like January 6th when they had their own implants installed, and they completely lost it on January 6th where they had their own, what was it, FBI or CIA or whatever it was, out there acting like they're MAGA. They've lost it, bro. They completely lost it.
I have to show you a different shot. That was not the right shot. I thought it was the right shot, but it turns out it was a different shot. I am looking at a video right now that I got to look at this again. What is that right there? I'm looking at a different video, a replay of a video of somebody being loaded into an ambulance.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna figure it out.
So I'll need to keep an eye on that. I'll have to watch that when I get a second.
I don't have my back one. I would have, but I just don't. No, as in I just don't have the other. I just don't have my back one. Because our main camera's right here. Like right here. I can open things. I don't care. I can't get over it.
Looks like we need to step up law enforcement in Washington, D.C., guys. Even more.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I had this on that windscreen.
Yeah, so I'm not going to show this on the air. I'm looking at a video showing it looks like one of the National Guardsmen being loaded into an ambulance. I'm just not going to, I mean, the person ended up dying, so I'm not going to show that. It's a video of the person on a stretcher being loaded into an ambulance.
Oh, that's perfect. That's what we had originally. Thank you. Perfect.
Oh, wait, breaking, hold on a second. Breaking news. Oh my gosh, look at this from the governor. Look at this from the governor of West Virginia, who earlier had posted, he earlier said they both died. Now look at this new post from the governor of West Virginia. We are now receiving conflicting reports about the condition of our 2 Guard members and will provide additional updates once we receive more complete information.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
The governor himself said half an hour ago they were both dead. Well, I got to change I hope they're still alive.
Wow, that'd be amazing, bro, if they make it. Holy cow. Wow. Let me update this. So guys, breaking news just confirmed, or not confirmed. It's just been reported that they may not be dead.
That's unbelievable.
Okay, I'm bouncing to help her. Okay, thanks, sir.
So now we don't know if they're alive or not.
Yeah, they may be alive. They may be alive.
I hope they are alive, obviously.
Yeah, I hope they are, man. Hope they're alive, dude.
Oh, there's microphones set up. There are microphones set up. Looks like maybe a press conference coming soon. Let me just update our headline. Give me one moment. Let me just update our headline here. Sorry.
Yeah, have them kind of like this. I'm good right here.
Are you good? This shot?
Holly, real quick, can you just scoot over just a little bit? This is it. Are you good?
So guys, I just came back over to the Hong Kong apartment buildings that are still on fire. This is a live shot. It is still going, and you could see the firefighters there with the water kind of spraying down right here on my screen.
Okay, so again, the governor of West Virginia had about a half hour ago posted that both National Guardsmen were dead. But then about 10 minutes ago, he said, we are now receiving conflicting reports about the condition of our 2 Guard members. We're going to get an update on the shooting soon from the police. DC police soon will provide an update on the shooting. Oops, sorry. There's a typo on the screen. My bad. Sorry about that. So I'm going with critically injured right now, and we may have to update that, but... Oh, hold on a moment here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Getting ready. There's supposed to be a press conference soon. Supposed to be a press conference soon.
Completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset.
So let me just get ready to
Committing
show
a
you that.
crime can come for a lot of different reasons. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime,
What a moron.
And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
Right there of the microphones. But just really wild that the governor about a half hour ago posted that both the soldiers were dead, and now he's saying it's not clear.
We might be having a press conference pretty soon.
Not for sure.
that back there.
Let me ask. Let me figure it out.
Let me just adjust this picture a little bit here, get a little brighter maybe. That's better. Thanks for your patience here as we try to get you more information. And thank you again to all of our moderators.
Get the media's help. If we get multiple mold boxes going. Because they want the podium.
They want to. So just ask. You hear me? No, she's ASL. She's mayor's ASL. She has to. You want to just ask? Why, who is saying this? She's mayor's ASL. She has to. Or is this somebody? Captain, is he calling?
No, here's the mayor's staff.
Hello. I'm using the audio from the other shop. And
ICE has not been violent and decisive. ICE has been doing their job. People resisting arrest will be met with violence, will be met with force, I should say.
the video from this shop.
If you're getting approached in the United States by law enforcement, you need to not resist arrest.
Hey, how you doing? There's no way we can get a moat with this much cover. Probably 5 moat boxes. Oh, okay. I was just we have probably about.
Ryan, do you want me to call Tom?
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hey, let me.
I'm gonna hop on them now, guys, but let me know if you need it. I'll try to give you a heads up.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I know the audio and video is a little off because I'm using the audio from
Holding
one
check
shot
1, 2, 3,
the
4,
video from
5,
another
6,
shot.
7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
So we'll
5,
get that'll be
6,
fixed when the actual
7,
press
8, 9,
conference.
10.
State Line is asking, let's see here. State Line is asking, he says, Medi, you want Shazone on call in to talk about mass shootings, etc.? No, I'm good. I'm good, bro. Shazone is captured, bro. Is gone. Is brain dead, bro. Let's talk to someone that can give us like a little something that we want to listen to, something that makes sense. I want to hear opposing views from someone that has, something good to talk about. Shazone is captured, bro. I remember Shazone from a couple of streams ago. Dude's gone. Dude's gone, bro. Zero brains.
What I'll do, I'll actually do it this way. Put this here. We'll make this one small for now because we'll go to it when the press conference actually starts.
Hey, this is a lot better.
And we'll let you see behind there as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
get
It's by my office.
Thanks for being here.
Did you see his pictures?
Oh, I know I did.
Dennis, you think that's confirmed? You said 2 KIA, 3 to 4 wounded. Are you pretty sure
So
about
if
those
you
numbers?
missed it,
How do you feel
again,
about
the
all
governor of West Virginia said that these were 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen, and he said about 40 minutes ago they had both been killed. And then about a half hour after that, he said, "Oh, we're getting conflicting information."
Random got him, bro.
But we just don't know right now. But this does appear to be an attack.
Now you can unsub, bro. There you go. Thanks for playing.
Hold on, we have a comment from Pete Hegseth. I missed this before. Thanks to Faye Tuck's Network mentioned, they just posted it. Thanks, Faye Tuck's Network, for mentioning that. Hey guys, let's listen to what Pete Hegseth had to say. I'm going to pull this up right now. They just posted this Department of Defense / Department of War on their social media. I haven't even watched it yet. So let's watch this right now. There's Secretary Hegseth. Let's see what he had to say. Again, I have not watched this yet myself. This is a few minutes ago. So let's play this and see what he says. But let me just take out the other volume so we don't interfere with it.
Very productive meetings, but I want to start by saying after those meetings, myself and my team were notified that 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C., critically wounded. The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America. Heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community. They were willing to do dangerous things others were not because they love their fellow Americans. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen. That will only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him. America and our warriors, our National Guardsmen, are strong. And so we're following this very closely. We're getting information rapidly. I mentioned the faith of this country, the Christian faith, the prayers. I would ask for prayers for our National Guardsmen.
Excuse me, Mr. P.
Appeals to heaven for our National Guardsmen, for their families, on bended knee as a War Department, as a nation.
Excuse me,
we will never back down.
Excuse
me. Think about them right now.
Venezuela.
We had a couple of great, productive meetings with the President and Minister of Defense here, where we are dedicated to the counter-cartel effort here. Criminality knows no boundaries, whether it's the United States of America and Washington, D.C., or it's the Caribbean and the Western Hemisphere. We are going to go after narco-terrorists. It will not stand. Our borders will be secure, whether it's the Dominican Republic or the United States of America, and we look forward to working with our partners to make it happen. You know, President Trump believes in a clear principle: peace through strength. You get peace by being strong. And if you're a narco-terrorist who wants to bring drugs to the United States of America, we will find you, we will fix you, and we will finish you. Because we have all the rights in the world. We've got lots of attorneys and lots of intel analysts, and we know exactly who we're targeting and why. If you're involved in that conduct, we will kill you. It's that deadly serious because of the poison that has made its way into the American public for far too long. President Trump is serious about it. We're serious about it. And we're proud to be working with the Dominican Republic, another country very serious about ensuring that cartels don't set the agenda. We do. Thank you very much. It's been a great series of meetings.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
All right, so that was Secretary Hegseth. All right, hang on a moment here, guys. We're going to get a press conference soon from D.C. law enforcement, maybe federal law enforcement, I'm not sure, but press conference is getting ready there in D.C., and we are bringing you live coverage.
I don't know who's false.
You're good, Joe.
I don't know why the governor of West Virginia hasn't deleted his original post. It's very strange. The governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, 44 minutes ago, this is still posted. He said, "It's with great sorrow we can confirm both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot earlier today have passed away." But then 21 minutes ago, he said, "We're now receiving conflicting reports about the condition of our 2 Guard members and will provide additional updates once we receive more complete information." So why not delete this one? Still there. They're both still there. Somebody said AP says they're dead. Well, the headline on AP is that they have died according to the state's governor. So some people in the chat are saying, well, this source says they're dead or this source says they're dead. But you might want to read the article because a bunch of these sources are basing it on what the governor said, and the governor has walked back what he said. So we don't know right now. Let's hope they're still alive.
Sorry. No, you're fine. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Dion, you still hear me? You still hear me?
Oh, hold on a second. Intel Point Alert just said that Janine Pirro said, "May they rest in peace." Now, I don't know that she knows. Janine Pirro,
oh, you good with my sound?
U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. Look what she posted.
Check 1, 2,
Thanks
3,
to
4,
Intel
5,
Point
6,
Alert
7,
for
8,
pointing
9,
this
10.
out.
Check 1, 2, 3,
So she
4,
said
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We good?
God bless the 2 National Guardsmen who've been shot and killed. She says they've been killed. But again, is she basing that on the West Virginia's governor's post? Has she seen that the West Virginia governor then walked back his post? I don't know. So she just posted, though, 2 minutes ago, saying they've been killed. But I wouldn't, she might just be basing that off the governor's earlier post.
Guys, I'm looking for some live
Well,
footage.
soon we're going to hear from the authorities.
If there are any interviews or anything going on.
Their normal day was before they go off on holiday of things.
Jeff Mason, who is with Reuters, reports that the White House has called a lid which for the press pool, which means President Trump does not plan to speak on camera about the shooting today from Florida. Again, the White House has called a lid.
This is a zoomed out shot from a helicopter or something up high in Washington, D.C., looking down at the scene. This is live right now on that scene, as is this.
Have video of the shooting. Now, I'm looking at CNN and Fox right now. I don't see them playing it, but I will certainly keep an eye out. I would not be surprised, for example, if there's cameras in the area.
1, 2. Testing. Is everybody getting audio? Testing. 1, 2. Okay. Testing. Testing. 1, 2. I left over. Testing. Is everybody getting audio? Right testing. There. 1, 2. No. Okay. Move testing. Forward. That's it. In that black bag. Oh, can you? I left no. That's the headset right there. Leg to the side. No. That's it. Move forward. That's it. In that black bag. No. You good? No. It's right there. Leg to the side. That's it. I'll plug it in. You good? Do you still have it?
What's up, Kev
It should
Dog?
be gone.
There is a video I have posted on my X account. I have reposted of the aftermath of the shooting floating around. I can't show that on the air.
See if I can pull up.
CNN says the suspect is not cooperating. Breaking news. CNN reports, breaking news, that the suspect approached the guardsmen and appearing to target them, firing first at one of the guardsmen who was just feet away. One source said the suspect then fired at the other guardsman who tried to get behind a bus stop shelter. The suspect is not cooperating with authorities and had no identification at the time of his arrest. So that is from CNN. I'm going to repeat that reporting, that new reporting from CNN. Shooting suspect is not cooperating with authorities, had no identification on him when arrested.
You good? 5.
So just to repeat that new reporting from CNN, they're saying that their sources tell them that the suspect is not cooperating with authorities, that he had no identification on him when he was arrested, that he shot the first guardsman from just feet away and then fired at the other one who tried to get behind a bus stop shelter. We still do not know if the two National Guardsmen are alive. The West Virginia governor originally said they were dead, and then he walked back that and said there were conflicting reports on whether they are alive. You know, I do wonder, could there have been a situation in which somebody in the chat might have said this too, I'm not sure. Could there have been a situation where they don't want to say they're dead until they've informed the relatives? Would that be a reason to walk it back? Because you got to wonder, why would the governor say they're dead and then 20 minutes later say, oh, we're getting conflicting reports, and then not delete the original post? So some of our viewers think that what it might be is that he's not supposed to announce it until they've informed the relatives. So that would be one explanation. I don't know. It just seems very odd that the governor would post one thing and then post another thing 20 minutes later and then not delete the first thing. And I'm checking his timeline. Yeah, the first post is still up there. The post saying they're both dead is still up there from 54 minutes ago. Look, I'll show you. It's just the governor's timeline, or the governor's feed. But there's the one saying they're dead. It's still there. He could delete it. And then there's the one saying reports are conflicting. I mean, I hope they're alive. It's strange that this one is still posted. Is it considered a terrorist attack? I don't know. That's a legal question. I'm guessing depending on alleged motive. Oh, Intel Point Alert points out that the New York Times says that where is it here? That National Guard troops have been at that metro station daily in recent months. The Farragut West metro station. This shooting happened just outside that metro station, about 3 blocks from the White House.
Sorry.
As you can see, there are microphones set up. Oh, this is interesting. Faytuck's network mentioned, I missed this from ABC News. ABC News says it's a man and a woman? That's the first I've heard about that. Because other outlets say it's, CNN and MS Now say it's 2 National Guards men. Although maybe that's just the generic term. ABC reports it's a man and a woman.
Sorry. Sure.
The Guard members, and that they're both in critical condition. That's the first I've heard of this. Well, let's just wait and see what the authorities say. FBI Washington field office says they are working with our law enforcement partners to investigate the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. this afternoon. We have no further details to provide at this time due to the ongoing investigation. Okay, Ken Delanian of NBC News reports. This is a report from NBC News. Or is it MS Now? MS Now, I'm sorry, not NBC's. MS Now reports via Ken Delanian that sources believe this may have been a targeted attack. The victims were National Guardsmen wearing fatigues. One was shot in the head. And this will be an FBI case because it involves federal officers. Oh. Janine Pirro has changed her previous post. Good spot by Intel Point Alert. Earlier, a few minutes ago, U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Janine Pirro, said that the soldiers were killed and said, may they rest in peace. Well, now she appears to have edited it. Here, look, the original post said, have been shot and killed, may they rest in peace. But then this says, God bless the 2 National Guardsmen who have been shot near the White House. It says nothing about them being killed. We are still waiting for an update from law enforcement. It's supposed to happen at any time. We have not heard anything about who this suspect is.
What they did report before was it was an ambush, so we do know that. Again, a lot of this stuff has to get confirmed, but from what they're saying, it was an ambush.
Yeah, there is an unconfirmed photo floating around of the suspect, which I can't show because I don't have the rights to, and also I can't confirm it's legit.
This one here is the Hong Kong live shot. Looks like they're setting up to do a press conference, press release here with the microphones there.
Five-minute warning.
5-minute warning. 5-minute warning for press conference. 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning for press conference. Here we go.
Looking for some more information on the
Chief
Hong Kong
Carroll
fire.
from MPD and the FBI director will reportedly be speaking. 5-minute warning.
Excuse me?
They're about to come through.
All right, guys, here we go. We're about to hear from we're about to hear from the authorities. I'm seeing some of them walking over right now. Real quick, let me show you this. Look at this. I think they're walking over to the press conference on the, this is the other shot. I think that's, oh here, there's, hold on, I just saw Kash Patel. There's Kash Patel, hold on.
Oh, dang, you got Kash Patel on the scene. Here we go.
I have two shots here, so I'll get you the best audio. Hopefully the audio is good on this one. It seems okay, but I will keep it. If I have to switch, I'll switch the shot. That is FBI Director Kash Patel.
Are we ready?
Ready. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kash Patel, FBI Director. We're here to brief you on the tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:15 local time in Washington, D.C., where two of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA, and we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because this is a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Carroll. I'm the Executive Assistant Chief here at the Metropolitan Police Department. At approximately 2:15 this afternoon, members of the D.C. National Guard were on high visibility patrols in the area of 17th and I Street Northwest when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring them into custody. Within moments, members of law enforcement in the area were also able to assist and bring that individual into custody. At this time, as the director mentioned, the National Guard members are being treated at a local hospital. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene to provide first aid for those individuals and transport them to a local hospital. The suspect in this case was also transported for treatment at a local hospital. Madam Mayor?
Thank you. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I, too, want to send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the guardsmen and to the guardsmen who are in critical condition in a local hospital. I am joined by members and leadership from the D.C. National Guard, from the West Virginia National Guard, United States Secret Service, Deputy Mayor Pia, Fire Chief Donnelly, and Metro's General Manager Randy Clark. And we join with the FBI Director in ensuring that MPD investigates, the U.S. Attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. I've had the opportunity to brief U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking to the president when I called, as well as the United States Attorney Pirro, who assured me that this case will have her office's complete attention.
Mayor, was there any other suspect?
Chief.
Sure. So no, at this time, there was no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot during the interaction, and they were transported to the hospital for treatment.
Mayor, does this validate the need for the National Guard here in D.C.?
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Can you give us info on who that was?
More details on the condition of the 2 National Guardsmen and whether or not anyone else was injured. And a quick question follow-up for the FBI director. You said that we'll make sure we find the perpetrators for this act. So just to clarify, the person believed to be responsible is in custody and there are no other suspects.
Sure, so I can start out. Again, Chief Carroll from MPD. So both of the individuals, the guard members, they are in critical condition in a local hospital at this time being treated. At this point, we have no other suspects. We have reviewed video from the area. It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
Have you got any sense of motive?
No, at this time, obviously, we're very in the preliminary stages of investigation. There's a lot of things, a lot of agents that are here from various federal agencies, law enforcement agencies. We have the full power of the FBI and our federal partners here in the task force. So we're looking at all those different aspects, but we don't have any motive. The National Guardsmen that were shot, I'm told they were armed.
Did they get off shots?
At this time, that's part of the preliminary investigation.
Can you explain how the suspect was apprehended?
Chief.
Sure. So how the suspect was apprehended, as I said, the individual, the suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the 2 National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
And he was shot by a National Guard?
At this point, we're still investigating exactly who shot that individual. It's not clear at this time.
Chief, do you know what kind of weapon was used?
We don't know what kind of weapon. There was DC police. It happened right in front of the Metro, although there is no indication that the perpetrator was on the Metro. So there's Metro Transit Police in the area, and obviously being on 17th Street by the White House, Uniform Division of Secret Service were in the immediate area as well.
What kind of weapon the alleged perpetrator used?
We do not know at this time. It's still under investigation.
We're going to be able to take a couple more.
Has been able to question the suspect, or is his condition so severe that you haven't been able to have a conversation?
Sure. Again, so as I said, we're very preliminary in the investigation, so we're looking into all aspects of who the individual is, his connections. At this time, he's still in the hospital receiving treatment.
And I would just like, hang on, I would just like to add, the reason that this suspect is in custody is because of the bravery of the men and women of the National Guard who responded due to their extensive training to secure American lives today. There was not any further injury and any further shootings. We should highlight the fact that the men and women of law enforcement, the interagency, the Department of War, and the National Guard executed their training with great precision today and prevented an even greater tragedy from befalling us. These National Guardsmen are heroes, and we must pray for their safety. And
it looks like it was a targeted attack against just the National Guardsmen.
Their speedy recovery. And as the chief said, we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. We will run down every single lead, every piece of evidence. This is the power of the U.S. government at its best at the state, local, and federal level. That is why this interagency group is standing behind us to assure America and the world that we will continue to keep D.C. safe. And thankfully, we have Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guardsmen, and federal agents, and the Department of Justice and the Attorney General willing to prosecute the mission to keep Americans safe. And President Trump has rightly stated that this heinous act will be investigated, and he has thanked the National Guardsmen and women and the men and women of law enforcement.
Thank you.
Did the
suspect say anything at the time?
Why did the West Virginia governor say that they've been killed? Chief, was anyone else shot besides the 2?
Have the families been notified?
General, what about the unconstitutional deployment of troops? So the press conference said both National Guardsmen are in critical condition. This was an ambush attack. An ambush attack by a single suspect with a gun. We don't really have.
So guys, I know that Kash Patel said that the other National Guardsmen stepped in. So here, if you're just listening to this and you may not have understood what they said, It appears to me that National Guards are being stationed at this intersection on this street in Washington, D.C., or have some kind of something that they do there on an ongoing basis. So they're always there every day. Someone comes around the corner with a gun, a lone gunman, and opens fire on those National Guard, those two guardsmen. It's possible one of them is a female. And in response, it appears that there may be other National Guardsmen in the area that then returned fire and took down the gunman. And it is unclear at the moment if those National Guardsmen who were shot are still alive. And we're currently trying to find out what the heck is going on with that. But Kash Patel said that the other National Guardsman that returned fire, that stopped the gunman, stopped that gunman from hurting other civilians or other people. But I think it looks like it was a targeted attack just against National Guardsmen. So if anything, they saved more National Guardsmen life. And so it looks to me like this is some kind of vendetta or something against National Guardsmen. I don't know if it could be against law enforcement in general. But it's hard to say. Of course, I'm saying this, I'm just guessing. But I think it was just against them. And then if I was to continue guessing, and if you wanted my thoughts on this, it sounds to me like something from the left. That's what it seems like to me. The left is currently up in arms against law enforcement. Definitely against ICE, right? They went to Home Depot, they lined up and got ice picks and tried to do all this stuff against ICE. They had these no ICE protests and all this stuff, and they're throwing rocks at them and doing all this crazy shit against ICE. And just against law enforcement in general. And nobody on the right that I know of has anything against any form of law enforcement. No group, no individuals, no institutions, nobody that I can think of, none of the people I know, none of the people I've met, none of you guys that I talk to, nobody that I know on the right has a single issue against anybody in any form of law enforcement. So I'll just say that. And then I'm going to read the chat, see what you guys are saying here. Jason, yeah, man, he says it. He says no right wing, no conservative, no MAGA would ever do this. We never. Even if you were some crazy, wacko extremist on the right, you still wouldn't do this. And again, I'm not saying there aren't extremes on both ends. There are. But nobody on the right, even on the extreme end, would do something like this against any form of law enforcement. Yeah, those are just my thoughts on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. But we do have the facts. They are two possibly critical, possibly no longer with us. One gunman shot, apparently still alive. Man. It's just crazy, man, to think about the situation. You know, an ambush attack is not, it's a horrible thing, man. That's a horrible thing. That is a horrible thing.
Oh, sorry. Hegseth said today, we watched it earlier. He said that 500, the president had asked him to add 500 National Guardsmen to Washington after today's shooting. Reuters says National Guard soldiers have been in Washington since August.
Do you feel like jumping
when
on?
Trump deployed them to the streets as part of his contentious immigration and crime crackdown targeting Democratic-led cities. As of today, there were around 2,200 National Guard troops in Washington, including contingents from the district from D.C., as well as Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, West Virginia, Georgia, and Alabama. The two troops
give
who
me
were
just
shot
a second, bro, and
were
I'm going to get
West Virginia
dialed in
National
to
Guard
bring
troops,
you
according
on.
to the West Virginia governor.
Give me 1 sec.
Reuters also says, Reuters says the shooting unfolded near Farragut Square, a popular lunch spot for office workers, just a few blocks away from the White House. The park is flanked by fast casual restaurants and a coffee shop, as well as 2 metro stops. One witness, Mike Ryan, 55, said he was on his way to buy lunch nearby when he heard what sounded like gunfire. He ran a half a block away and heard another round of apparent gunfire. When he made his way back to the scene, he saw 2 National Guard members on the ground across the street, with people trying to resuscitate one of them. At the same time, other National Guard members had pinned someone on the ground, he said. Another witness, Emma McDonald, said she saw one of the National Guard members carried away on a stretcher minutes after the shooting, his head covered in blood, and an automated compression system attached to his chest. Let's hope they survive.
Hi, I can hear you. Yes. Yes. I can hear you.
When will we hear something more about this suspect? I do not know. There is a photo floating around that purports to be of the suspect. I don't know if that's legit, that photo. No, the D.C. airport is not shut down. There was briefly a ground stop there after the shooting, but that is no longer in effect. So only one suspect. For those who didn't see it, it was not a long press conference, but maybe what I'll do for those who haven't seen it is I'm going to replay the press conference from moments ago, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say moments ago, just so you can see it. It wasn't long, because I know people come in and out. So let me put this up on the screen for you right now. I'm going to get rid of this volume, put this volume on, put this right here. Okay, so let's just watch again.
I'm getting ready
There's
for
Cash
the
Patel here.
to
So I
bring
just
you
want to
on,
let
bro.
people see it who haven't seen it. This is the press conference from moments ago.
That happened. Ready. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cash Patel, FBI Director. We're here to brief you on the tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:15 local time in Washington, D.C., where two of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners, to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA, and we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because it's a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Carroll. I'm the Executive Assistant Chief here at the Metropolitan Police Department. At approximately 2:15 this afternoon, members of the DC National Guard were on high visibility patrols in the area of 17th and I Street Northwest when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring them into custody. Within moments, members of law enforcement in the area were also able to assist and bring that individual into custody. At this time, as the director mentioned, the National Guard members are being treated at a local hospital. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene to provide first aid for those individuals and transport them to a local hospital. The suspect in this case was also transported for treatment at a local hospital. Madam Mayor?
Thank you. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I, too, want to send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the guardsmen and to the guardsmen who are in critical condition in a local hospital. I am joined by members and leadership from the D.C. National Guard, from the West Virginia National Guard, United States Secret Service, Deputy Mayor Pia, Fire Chief Donnelly, and Metro's General Manager Randy Clark, and we join with the FBI Director in ensuring that MPD investigates, the U.S. Attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. I've had the opportunity to brief U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking to the president when I called, as well as the United States Attorney Pirro, who assured me that this case will have her office's complete attention.
Mayor, was there any...
What's up, buddy? You there?
Yeah, what's happening, bro?
What's up, man? Listening to these guys giving the press conference right now. It's a little repeat of it, but
were shot during the
but it's
interaction.
good.
And
Can
they were
you hear it right
transported
now
to
if I
the
turn it
hospital
up?
for treatment.
Mayor, does this validate
Nah.
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who
No.
appeared to target
No.
these guardsmen.
So, dude, how crazy is this, man? What is
This
happening?
this is about the most irate I think I've been in a long time. You know, minus seeing innocents getting killed and shit. Like, this is unacceptable. We got to do something better than this because we're corrupting our entire law and order system. And I take it personally when any kind of military gets attacked. This is just complete bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, this just this. I'm sure you could tell, bro. This rattled me, man. I'm pissed, dude. I'm containing myself a lot, to be honest with you. But dude, just my thoughts of just the ambush of the guy coming around the corner with a firearm going after these guardsmen in a random moment like that. I mean, it's not random to the gunman, but just as an ambush like that, it's just it's wild, bro. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, this is unprecedented times I think we're living in, and it sucks that we can't come back from this because I've been trying to quell some thoughts I've had myself here, and we've talked before, and I'm having a really hard time trying to restrain myself from not wanting to just take matters into my own hands in some regards. Trying to follow the law, but I mean, this shit's just getting beyond ridiculous. This needs to stop. The divisiveness, the political theater, the political rhetoric, like trying to disobey orders. Like, these people have served or been a part of national security. And I'm not saying that this is the reason why this happened until we know otherwise, but it goes through a bunch of different layers of a chain of command to verify and validate those orders before it even reaches the enlisted level. So who are you trying to propagate at this point? Who else would it be?
You're absolutely right. It might be a good time for me to play that video that you sent me a while ago on that. Actually, not a while ago, a couple days ago.
Yeah, because they can't prove what unlawful orders are being issued. Because I know what Title 10 orders are, and Trump is well within his scope and rights as a president to be able to do that. Now, if we're talking full insurrection, it takes another layer of approval. But when it comes to this, it's fully justified. A policing action, an emergency action, a crime action. He's well within his rights to do what he's doing. So there's nothing unlawful about this.
Right. Let me just get this last piece of Cash Patel, and I'm going to put this, put that clip on that you played. Let me go ahead and hit play on this.
Of law enforcement, the interagency, the Department of War, and the National Guard executed their training with great precision today and prevented an even greater tragedy from befalling us. These National Guardsmen are heroes, and we must pray for their safety and their speedy recovery. And as the chief said, we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. We will run down every single lead, every piece of evidence. This is the power of the U.S. government at its best at the state, local, and federal level. That is why this interagency group is standing behind us to assure America and the world that we will continue to keep D.C. safe. And thankfully, we have Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guardsmen, and federal agents, and the Department of Justice and Attorney General willing to prosecute the mission to keep Americans safe.
Okay, so that's the end of that press conference, and we're going to still be looking at this live, and I'm going to go cut to this video that you sent about taking, about orders and the chain of command that they go through. So let me just put that on real quick. Let me hit play on this. 1, 2, 3.
So while I never served, my husband medically retired after 18 years of serving in the United States Army. And if I come out and speak on a military issue, it's because I have already had multiple conversations with him on top of doing my research. And then I try to turn around and explain it in a way that the everyday civilian can understand it. But right now what we have is a whole lot of civilians online parroting these big dramatic words like illegal order, unlawful order, unconstitutional order, just because 6 Democrat politicians decided to throw those terms out on TV. So let me explain to you the part that they will never tell you. Because you see, orders don't magically appear in front of a private like some sort of pop-up ad. They go through multiple levels of legal and operational review before they ever hit that lowest ranking soldier. And let's be honest, that is exactly who these Democrats are targeting. But here's the real chain of command on how orders travel. It starts at the president or the secretary of war. Then it goes to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, legal review and operational review. Then it goes to the combatant command, which is CENTCOM, NORTHCOM, etc., things like that. Then it goes to the Service Component Command, which is the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Then it goes to the Division Command. Then it goes to the Brigade Command. Then it goes to the Battalion Command. Then it goes to the Company Command. Then it goes to the Platoon Leader and the Platoon Sergeant. Then it goes to the Squad Leader. And then it gets to the lower enlisted soldiers. By the time that a private gets that order, it has been evaluated, validated, and passed down through half the freaking military. Those lower enlisted are the last people in the chain. They're not the first deciding if something is illegal or unconstitutional. And you see, nothing in 2025 has been deemed illegal. This is the part that the 6 politicians conveniently leave out. A presidential order is presumed lawful unless and until a court rules otherwise. That means a challenge is not a ruling. A lawsuit is not a ruling. A politician's opinion is not a ruling. And unless a judge signs an injunction or issues a ruling declaring something unconstitutional, the order is lawful and must be followed. And as of right now, not one single Trump second-term order has been ruled illegal, unconstitutional, or unlawful. So while I never served...
All right, so yeah, I just played that video. Are you still with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just played that video of that that girl that basically explains the chain of command and, you know, what orders, you know, go through before they get down to, you know, the soldiers. And so and then so you realize it's not like President Trump says something and then the private goes out and does you know what I mean? It doesn't go President Trump down to the straight to the soldier. It goes through a long chain of command before it gets there.
Right, and most orders probably won't even reach it below battalion level before they're actually questioned if there is something unlawful about it or whether there's a flaw in the plan or the intel. It's going to get bounced up that chain of command before it even reaches down to platoon or squad level. So there's no way that anybody would even have to worry about that, you know?
Right. Right. Absolutely. So yeah, man,
I think
this whole thing, bro, is just crazy. I you know, I know this is, you know, one situation. It's come after Charlie Kirk. It's come directly aimed at National Guard. And it doesn't look good, man. I'm not trying to make this thing into something bigger, or trying to fear monger or anything like that. But this is very deliberate, very specific, very intentional, and the fact that it's an ambush, it's not a good sign, man.
No, and I mean this is the life we're living now. I mean, there's really no coming back from it, and it's all politically driven. Half of this stuff could have been prevented if these politicians either chose to omit certain words, or at least were professional and, you know, honorable, had some integrity in that regard. I mean, perception's everything, you know, when it comes to right versus left. But I mean, the words have consequences. I mean, it might be a handful here, it might be a dozen there, whatever, but you don't know what that handful or that dozen are capable of. So don't fucking say it, you know?
Yeah.
It's
a disaster. I just noticed you got your video up. I don't have your video up on the screen. Oh, by the way,
you don't? I'm just looking at myself.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up here, man. Here we go. Discord.
I'll show you how to clear a chat out. Wait, he put my picture up there.
Let's see if I go here. No, that didn't do it. Where is my screen here? No, that wasn't it.
I just wish, like, I don't care. Like, I know we've talked about this in the past, but everybody that's watching right now, spread the truth to your friends. I mean, is it that difficult for us to just act right and ignore the stuff that divides us? I don't get why it's such a daunting task for us to constantly allow these things to distract and divide us at the level they are, especially when the outcome are things like this. I mean, any
Yeah.
normal, rational person would know that this is not the right way to move forward or try and remedy anything. So why do we keep doing it?
Yeah, dude. It's just again, these people lost it, bro. They don't have a sense of morality. That's the problem,
No.
bro. They hear something and they take it for truth, and they don't get to hear the other side of the argument. They're lost, bro. They're captured. They're gone.
Well, it sucks because you don't see the same, and I'm not going to bring up necessarily Christianity as a glue that bound us together in the past, but I mean, have something that means something in your life. Religion, spirituality. I don't care if you pray to your frickin' blade of grass out in the front yard, as long as that blade of grass, is trying to teach you to enjoy nature more than try and cut the grass and destroy it. You know what I'm saying? Just something stupid and trivial like that. But I mean, come on, we need to have something that's not based in violence, or we're repeating Roman history all over again. What's next? Gladiator competitions and stuff like that? Because where are we headed?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's not religion, it's got to be something. I mean, here's the thing: is again, bro, it's a tough one. It's one that we always. I got your picture up now. It's kind of small. It's not that big because I still have the other screens up too, so people can kind of see you. Let's make it a little bit bigger. You're right there off to the side. I don't know if you can see yourself or not, or if you're able to look at the screen. But so guys, this is State Line. If you're looking at the chat, if you're looking at the screen right now, you're looking at State Line. He's up on there. But yeah, dude, this is something that you and I and a lot of us in the stream wrestle with. It's like, how do we get the message out there? How do we talk to people? I know they come to the stream and they get to hear our side, but of course, a lot of times everyone's blocked off. They're just trying to push their rhetoric. When you have, as I showed, we had Jasmine Crockett out there saying, if you're just because you committed a crime, it doesn't make you a criminal. And we have Jasmine Crockett out there saying that, basically, dude, these liberals are out there saying whatever they want, knowing that their constituents and their viewers are not seeing the other side. So they can say whatever they want at any time.
Well, and look at I think the majority of them all have law degrees, so you can't tell me that you don't understand how flooded the system is in reality. So tailoring crime down to specific individuals, while as great as it might be to say, okay, so you shoplifted, we're not going to just ruin your life, they just don't have the time, money, or resources to do those kind of things. So, I mean, isn't it a lot easier to act right and respect the law rather than to keep going through this round and round about, whether crime is crime or whether, up is down, left is right. I mean, these people know better.
They know better, but they also know that their viewers won't check and see if they're telling the truth, bro. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, what do you do? These guys are out there saying it's a threat to our Constitution. It's a threat to our nation. Donald Trump is a fascist. Donald Trump is here to turn you into a slave or something. I don't know what they're trying to put into these people's minds. But they can say all of this stuff and people believe it.
It kind of makes you miss the good old days before any of this shit, was even around, right? Like, I would have rather press releases and State of the Union addresses be it. I like the transparency, but I mean, when it creates this, what good is it really doing? And I think we've become way too digitized at this point where, we'd rather jump onto a forum and chat rather than, in my opinion, this is a perfect time for us to go into our communities and try and lead by example. I mean, you don't have to get everybody on board, but actions speak louder than words. So, lead by example in that regard and try and do what you can on a community level. And maybe people will catch on. But sitting here sometimes chatting, if we're not going to do anything aside from that, because we become too complacent, then we're going to end up where we're going to end up inevitably. It doesn't really make a difference because we're not putting in that effort that's required. So what do we expect? It's lunacy, same definition of insanity. Let's do the same things over and over again, expect a different result. Not going to happen.
Yeah. Now, I mean, on a positive note, I would say that now more than ever, the voices on the right have kind of broken through some of that basically, what do you want to call it? I mean, it is fascism from the left, but basically, we had the legacy media and we had the Democrats owning all the media, and now finally, people on the right, their voices are being heard more than ever. Now more than ever, and so it is true that that people on the left can go out and say whatever they want, and their viewers, for the most part, don't hear the other side. However, I think that is slowly changing. They are slowly, coming across channels like this, and
Right.
they are seeing more people online on the right speaking their mind. I've seen a lot more black people stand up on the other side, on the right side, on the right side, and as Republicans, as conservatives, and saying, "Hey, man, what we've been, indoctrinated into this whole time, it may not be correct," and so it's kind of, I feel like there is some kind of a shift going on, but is it enough? Is it happening fast enough?
Well, I think the lousy part is we always have something piled on us daily, and I mean, people are waking up because think about from a lying perspective, the more and more you lie, the harder it is to keep track of those lies. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are waking up because of all this compounded BS that we're dealing with. At some point, I don't even care if you have critical thinking skills or not. You're kind of like, well, this doesn't add up anymore. So maybe there's some validity to these other points. And I think that's a lot more what's happening. But then lo and behold, here comes the next day around and we see something like this unfold. And now let's see what this turns into as a result, because there's going to be divisiveness regarding this. I almost guarantee it. One side's going to omit or report inaccurately. The other one's going to point fingers. It's going to be the same go round all over again. And then we're going to have to kind of circle back to the drawing board and try and it's almost like resetting ourselves on a 24-hour cycle. Just when we start getting there, we gain traction. But at the same time, but wait, there's more. It's to what end?
Yeah, it does seem like that. It does seem like it just in some ways, the people on the right have more of a voice now, and it gives an opportunity to more people on the left to hear the discussion and the arguments on the other side. But then at the same time, it seems like things are getting a little more crazy every day too. Dude, the Charlie Kirk's assassination was insane. What just happened today? That's insane. That's completely, I mean, it's completely uncalled for.
We're kind of dealing with third world crap going on here now. I mean, that's what we're kind of turning into. You never used to see assassinations like this or targeted attacks or domestic terrorism at this kind of a level before. And it's almost going to get to a point where we're so desensitized because it's a norm, or we're going to feel so helpless that what can we realistically do about it? If you don't know if your government agencies are being accountable, honest, and integral, or having integrity, then it comes down to us. This is where I say, like, this is an awesome opportunity to be a part of a platform. And that's why, we try and promote the Discord, is so you can come on here and we can continue the discussion beyond the couple hours worth of live in the morning and in the evening, so that way we can actually try and get somewhere with this. If we all understand one another, even if we agree to disagree, we can go from there. I mean, some of us live nearby, some of us live geographically, complete opposite ends of the country, but that doesn't mean you can't make a change starting somewhere. So why don't we just start? But you have to start from platforms like this, because I know the whole reason you ended up converting this way is to make a difference and to try and promote awareness and understanding. And if people don't want to engage in that, I mean, it sucks, but we can't fight this battle alone. We need to do this together. Otherwise, we're not going to do it at all. And this is our fate,
Yeah. Yeah, of course, totally agree. And you know, to kind of push a little further on that, it is. I mean, if we wanted to, you know, give a message out to people on the left, what would we say right now? I know we do try to. What we try to do is talk about our perception and how we see things and what facts we are exposed to, which in many ways are the opposite of what everyone on the left is being fed on their social media, on their networks, on all of those different legacy media places that they get news from. But so we do expose them to, you know, facts, actual facts. We expose them to arguments from our side. We say, hey, look, you know, you've been told this, but also just know that there is this to keep in mind that is sometimes, you know, the complete opposite of what you've been told. But what else would you say? Like, what can you think of? Like, what else would we say to? I mean, I can think of some things, but what do you think, bro? We could say to them in addition to
we
that.
need to, rather than humanizing, dehumanize them, we need to find a way to make a connection again. You know, like just think about your average stranger walking down the streets of Chicago. You pass, you nod, you might say hi, reciprocate it. We're not as different as you think from one side to the next. I'm sure we all want the same things. We all want to enjoy our lives. We want the best for our family, friends, communities. We need to start from that. I mean, if we don't have that, then the rest of the crap doesn't matter. Like different ideologies, gender issues, things like that. We would all be more accepting of one another if we looked at each other from that same baseline perspective, in my opinion. But we need to stop looking for the faults. Black, white, trans, gay, not, you know, I mean, none of that shit matters. To each their own, but you don't have to force ideologies on each other or come up and say, hi, my name is, okay, you know, instead of telling me how you identify in a certain way, tell me, shoot the shit, talk about the weather. Let's talk about, you know, you know, whatever the case may be. We don't need to start things off on a rocky foot. And I think that's where a lot of this is coming from, because if we're going to fall for the divisive rhetoric anyway, it's inevitable. If we put that aside and say, okay, so that's going on, there's discrepancies between right versus left, what can we actually agree with? I see you standing there looking at me. How do we actually engage this conversation? Hi, my name is, you know, like not this other stuff. We just need to reset those fundamental values that we've completely lost at this point.
When you say all of that, what comes to mind is trying to think of. It's a question I used to ask when I went out on the streets and did live streaming. And one of my questions I would ask people is, can you think of one place where you agree with someone on the other side of the political aisle?
Right.
Maybe.
Right, but even with that, like, I mean, in my opinion, sometimes that might set the tone wrong depending on who you're running into. And I mean, everything's going to be isolated when it comes to individuals rather than a collective. But I mean, sometimes that's where I'd rather avoid the topics altogether. If it leads into it, great, but hopefully you build that rapport first.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm saying, is building a positive rapport before you get into controversial topics, like talking religion or politics at the bar. It's almost inevitably going to end in disaster one way or another. Even if you agree, you get to that point where it's like you just had enough and you want to relax and enjoy your drink. So, I mean, even amongst the best of company, family or friends, you can run into these same issues. So just imagine now equating that to a stranger. You know, that's my kind of take on it.
Yeah, you're totally right. But I'm just trying to think like some basic things that we can all agree on. One, I mean, obviously we can all agree that, hey, we got to find ways to reduce. I mean, we could say reduce the cost of goods, but look at, you know, yeah. I mean, I guess that would be one. It's an obvious place where we would all want the cost of goods to be lower, right?
Right.
The cost of living to go down in general. That's one place that we want that we would all agree on. We would all agree on reducing inflation. We would all agree on, let's say, crime, reduction in crime. We all agree that we should have a reduction in crime. We all agree on illegal immigration is not a way of life. I think maybe that less than the others, but because I know some people on the left, far left people, think that there should be no borders to any countries in the world, that anyone should just be able to rush into any country. But I mean, for the most part, I would say people do agree that we should have actual working immigration system where, you know, people don't come in here illegally. They come here legally. We know who they are. And I'm trying to think of some more. I mean, I guess the only thing is like, how do we go about fixing some of these problems? I know the agreement is, hey, we should reduce, we should do something about cost of living. But what we disagree on is, how do we get there? Possibly, right?
Right. And then that's where I think I kind of circle back to the community aspect of it, because at this point, we might as well face it that, first of all, we don't want more government. We don't want them controlling our lives any more than they already do. But we also need to resign ourselves to the fact that maybe the corruption is just too rampant, or the systems are too broken at this point. So that's where I kind of come back to, where if we have food issues, people suffering, people not being able to afford things, if we got together, left versus right, one come all, and actually worked on projects like soup kitchens and, you know, food banks or whatever, like going around and helping the elderly, whatever the case may be, side by side, hand in hand, that's how you rebuild this back up, because then you set an example that the government can't ignore. If they can't ignore the fact that people are starting to unite, which you know that they don't want, otherwise we wouldn't be dealing with any of this to begin with, we'd be unstoppable. We'd actually be able to hold our government accountable in some way, shape, and form if that built up enough momentum to where we could actually say, look, you might have fooled us once, but you're not going to fool us twice. Now we're all on the same page. I don't care if it's this small community here, that when they're a portion of the city, whatever, it spreads, you know, but it's only going to spread through our actions. So, I mean, we can go over all the issues, and I really don't think a lot of this stuff can be remedied. And I don't think that big government itself is going to do it. It comes down to the state levels, which is why federal funding goes down to the state level, and it's their prerogative on how they allocate this spending. So if they don't have their community action programs reinforced, or they don't have, let's say, line item appropriations for what the money's going to be allocated specifically for, meaning that anybody along that chain can actually dip into the till and help themselves to it, then we need to eliminate that out of the equation. And we need to do something that's grassroots, like how this all started in the beginning. We don't need to get into a war over it, but this is the way to avoid the inevitable of where we're heading otherwise, is we need to find a way to come together rather than to divide, and figure out how to work out issues that, in my opinion, are beyond repair at this point. You know, it's a starting point.
I think all of what you said is very spot on. It's not easy though, but it is very spot on. You know, us coming together as a people and being responsible for ourselves and helping each other ourselves is better than any government institution that we want to fund to do that for us. The problem I have is, or not that I have, I should say, the problem that we have as a country is that we're divided on that. I mean, you think it would make sense what you said, that everybody would agree, but I would, playing the devil's advocate, you know, I would say Democrats, liberals would rather have government do this stuff. They'd rather tax the rich more and have the government do these things for everyone. And that's I think kind of where that's why you see me a lot of times. I come in and it sounds like I'm rage baiting people, or it sounds like I'm trolling people, but in reality, I'm trying to make people think, man, it's like, dude, if you're on the left and you think that increasing taxes is going to do something that's going to help the situation, it's just factually not true. It's just proven the history is there. Like the numbers don't add up. That's why you saw me. How many times have you seen me come out and say, listen, every time the United States has increased taxes, it has resulted in less tax revenue to the government. That's a
Right.
fact. You know, I give these facts out knowing that even if people want to come and fight me to the, to the death on it in the chat, at least it makes them think when they leave, when the chat's over, when the stream is over, they're like, wait a
Right.
minute, was this guy actually right about that? Because when I was a Democrat, nobody actually said that to my face like that to make me go actually think about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody ever came to me and told me that, did you know that every time we increased the minimum wage, we hurt the very people that we were trying to help?
Right. And that's why a lot of them don't seem to notice that actions have consequences. Inaction has consequences. And so I envy the government for trying to figure these things out, especially in the conditions we're in, because it's not an easy feat. So it's not as simple as people think, is just put a Band-Aid on this, rip one off of that, whatever. This is a way more complex issue than the majority of us can even comprehend. So I don't envy them in the least bit when it comes to trying to remedy this, much less try and respect and try and do right by their constituents. I mean, that's got to be a daunting task, but I mean, it like, what do they make up, 50 to
Eric in the
70% of our
chat
tax
says,
base?
Eric in the chat says, Medi, these people think they're in a Tom Clancy movie.
So it seems. I mean, yeah, well, and that's the part, like, we're this indoctrination and all this stuff. And I feel bad for the younger generation, having kids myself, in these age brackets, because they feel hopeless, and they've told me this. Their friends seem like it, but I'm like, that doesn't mean you need to be incapable of trying to pursue something. I mean, don't let that just be a kick in the balls to where you're like, well, I just give up and I'm just going to expect everything. No, you can still make a living now. You can still be successful now. You might not ever enjoy the luxury of equity and home ownership or anything like that, which sucks. But it doesn't mean you can't do well for yourself, especially if you're still residing in your family's house and the ability to save money. That's how you do it. It's how a lot of us started off. I mean, you start off, you save that money, you're fiscally responsible, and then you open these doors for yourself. And it's how you
Yeah.
manage it from there on that, where you go. But some of these ones just, I don't know if it's victim mentality or defeatism or something like that, but it's like, you can't keep that mindset and hope for anything positive to happen, especially when you see all this other mixed stuff going on. It's not just a simple fix, but you have to be part of the change yourself too. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. And nobody can afford to pay for everybody else's stuff either. Because look at what our deficit is now. Next year, this upcoming year, we're going to be spending more on our debt service than welfare, Social Security, and the defense. So we can't maintain this, especially if 50% is going to pay for the other 50%'s welfare programs and things too. It's just not sustainable. So they need to look at this from every angle and be more, be more open to constructive criticism and things like that. Do their own research. Don't just sit there and listen to this and take that and just think that that's what it is, because there's way
It's
more
tough,
than that.
bro. There's not just the newest generation, the last couple of generations, bro. They have a hard time with responsibility. I mean, and when they have a hard time with responsibility for themselves, it's hard for them to be responsible for something greater than themselves. It's even harder because like the government or making a change, so that's why as I said, man, I try to give them. I'm learning. I'm reading these books. Where's the book? I'm reading these books. I'm learning actual facts. Where is it? There it is. I'm reading these books.
Right on.
And I'm getting these facts, and then I come out here and I regurgitate the reality of the situation. There are just simple facts out there. Like here's another simple fact I learned just yesterday when I read the final pages of that book. I didn't know this, but did you know that there were more slaves? There were more people taken from Europe and sold to Africans as slaves than there were Africans taken and sold to America as slaves?
Well, I think on both sides of the slavery spectrum, our own races sold each other out for profit. The Irish, the Chinese, the Germans, the Poles, they were all sold into slavery. Our country was built on that kind of slavery too, Just like the tribal in Africa sold their own people for profit so they could have a, whatever the case may be. But, like we perpetuated these things ourselves, yet we always want to play the blame game when it's water. I don't want to say water under the bridge, but it's in the past. Stop dwelling in the past and try and make tomorrow better. Otherwise, what are you going to get? The past again. And I repeat it. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, my point with that fact was, I mean, I'm not trying to, that doesn't kind of relate to what we're talking about very much, but it's just another fact. There's simple facts out there that we should all understand. Like, for example, when, with this, like going back to this slavery thing, dude, there was slavery going on since the beginning of humanity. Since humans were ever capable of having slaves, they had slaves and there was slavery. I didn't know that Christian monasteries and even Buddhist monasteries had slaves.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's still going on today. I mean, in certain parts of the world, it's still alive and kicking, unfortunately. We've come a long way ourselves since then.
And the Western countries like ours were among the latest civilizations to have slaves, and were among the first, if not the very first, to abolish slavery. So to keep slamming on USA, to keep trying to crush our own country from within, based on the fact that we had slaves, saying that we're a horrible country because of that. It's just not. It's not in touch with reality. You know what I mean? We're the latest to do it, and we were the first to stop it. And after we stopped it, it was going on in the rest of the world, and it still does to this day. Those are facts. And so I come on and I tell you, I tell people these facts, other facts, like I said about taxes, raising taxes, reduces the revenue, minimum wage. And it goes on and on and on. Just simple facts like this. I put it out there to make people think, because I know, bro, it's hard. It's hard these people have zero responsibility. These people don't care about what anyone is telling them. These people don't hear about the other sides. These people are going to come in here and fight you to the death on something that they don't even check to see if their own argument is true or not. But if I do come out and give clear, concise, specific facts, I think I plant seeds, and I make them kind of question their when I plant those seeds, it may, like it did for me, it may start the unraveling of the sweater,
Right. Well, change isn't going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen fast. So even one person here and there is better than nobody at all. I mean, we all have friends and family and things like that we network with. So even if you impact one person a day, we're doing pretty good here, And I think we've become too much of a product of our own success. We're too arrogant, entitled, lazy. And I mean, these kids don't question where they got these expensive iPads and iPhones and video game systems and all this stuff. It's because we've been so successful as a nation. We've prospered. And now it's like reverse, like we ran out of shit to bitch about. So now we need to recreate these problems all over again on a worse scale. Doesn't it seem like we just are inevitably trying to find reasons to make up for lack of motivation or effort in our own lives by creating more problems? Something's got to be it.
Yeah. I'm open to try new things, whatever it is that I can, that we can together, any of us. I'm happy to bring you on as often as you're down, bro. Love to see you and hear your voice. The chat loves to see and hear you, and I'm down to bring you on. I'm down to try and say different things, and again, not to come out here and bash the left side or any side, but to speak and share ideas with people and maybe help people see things, and help us all to go towards the right thing, not right as in conservative, but the correct thing to do,
right versus wrong, good versus evil, you know. And I mean, that's I love having you have me on, you know. Like I've told you before, I don't like having my face public or talking or anything like that. But I mean, so be it. Like if any time is worth it, now is worth it more than ever. Because you know, like I was ready to jump the gun back into 2020 when all the Floyd riots and stuff jumped off, and kind of glad that things didn't turn out that way. But I mean, now we really have some dire things ahead of us that we really need to figure out how to connect on. So I'm here 110%. If you ever want to have me on, go back and forth. Like, I just want people to be open and perceptive to this stuff. We're not trying to harm you. We're not trying to brainwash you. We're not trying to lead you astray. We just want you to understand where we're coming from and where we're at and how we got here and where we're going. I mean, that's all it's about. We can agree to disagree, but we got to be able to agree on something. Plain and simple, you know.
I like how you said that. You're exactly right, bro. We're not here to harm anyone. We're not here to do anything adversely to anybody, bro. We're here to just discuss shit and share ideas. We haven't been able to do that. The conservatives in general have not been able to share their ideas as openly. Now that we're able to do that, I think we should do it in the best way with good intentions. And I think it's beneficial to everyone. Of course, there is going to be some trolling. There's going to be some fun had. We gotta keep our sanity. We gotta keep things.
Oh yeah.
We gotta have a sense of humor. In the end, bro, we're just human, and we gotta keep that too. I want to enjoy this as well, not just make it a fucking,
all serious and doom and gloom, right?
Yeah, bro, like a pure, like instructional fucking, like thing that I'm trying to, I want it to be, we have fun with it. We mess with each other, but you got to be able to take it. If they're going to come in the chat and they're going to come in the stream and dish it out, then they got to be able to take it. And just like with a lot of the people that are long, like old school OG followers and subscribers that have disagreed with me right away. They jumped in the chat, disagreed with me, came at me, and then I came back at them. But they were tough enough to take it. I was able to take it. I didn't kick them. They didn't, stop, subscribing. They stuck around, and we learned to find that kind of sweet spot and hang out.
Right. And well, from my perspective, like we don't like having to chat ban or time people out. Like a productive discussion isn't that hard to come by if you can put the emotion aside. Like if you get triggered, you get triggered. It is what it is. But things, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names can never hurt me. So just dish it out as well as you can take it. That's one way. I mean, we can have fun with this. Laughter is the best medicine. I mean, you want to talk about like we're talking about soldiers getting shot today. Dive into vet humor. See how deep and twisted that is, because if you don't find some way to be able to cope with that aside from drug abuse and drinking, which is the worst way to do it, then you're never going to be able to cope with shit. You have to be able to make light of it, but realize, that it's some real serious stuff. So, I mean, it's not like we're trying to mock it. It just means that we need to kind of go from here to here a little bit,
Yeah.
So.
Yep, exactly, bro. So I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep having fun with it. I want to keep messing and pushing back on trolls. But I also am down to, make friends with trolls and get along with people and find that sweet spot. As I've told you in the past, as I've told everyone in the past, everyone in life that I've gotten in a fight with have mostly become best friends later. You become really good buds later. So,
I've never held a grudge or hatred toward anybody. I'm the guy where if we get into it, I don't care whether win or lose. One of us is going to help the other up, and we're going to say we're going to go buy a beer now. I don't care if you don't like it, then screw you. But otherwise, I'd prefer you come and drink this drink with me, and let's just move past this. I mean, It's not that difficult.
Yeah. And in the chat says that always happens. It does. It always happens. Every time we get mad at someone, and sometimes the people we go at the hardest become our best friends. It's crazy, but it brings people closer. When you go at it and you kind of go deep and sometimes I don't know. It's just how it works. But some of the people that are that we talk to the most in Discord, in the chat, in the stream, they're the people that came out firing the hardest at the beginning of this stream. You know what I mean? You know that, you've seen it yourself. So
Well, what's it take to start a campfire? Friction, right?
That,
so are you going to want to marry an identical copy yourself, or do you want to have a little bit of friction in a relationship to keep yourself balanced? Same difference when it comes to your personal life. That shouldn't be any different with your friendships. You don't want echo chambers. You want people that are going to be there to support you and keep you accountable, to lift you up and be better, not pull you down to be worse. And I mean, sometimes complacency and similar ideas do that. There's nothing wrong with it, but it can happen just the same way. So, let's create a fire here. And then let's
agree.
tend the fire ourselves and roast some freaking marshmallows,
I love it.
Make some s'mores out of this bitch.
Yep. And tell some stories around the campfire, bro, and hang out a little bit. I love it.
Yep.
Right on, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on. And by the way, if you're ever on the stream and I forget to ask you to come on, or you find a good moment where you're like, dude, I think I could jump on and add a little something, or, I feel like just jumping on, just shoot the shit or whatever. Just remind me.
Right on.
Hey, Medi.
Well, I was going to do that earlier, except I needed this, honestly, in order to kind of get talked off a ledge and calm down a little bit, because I was irate watching that. Even if I go back and see what happened today again, I'm going to be ticked. But this brought me down, this lightened it up again. And tomorrow's another day. Hopefully we get some answers. Hopefully we prevent this happening again, and, stop a lot of us from going over the ledge, because we're getting closer and closer to it, brother. So
absolutely,
we can do this ourselves, or we can do this the hard way. Let's avoid the hard way.
I'm with you on that, bro. 100%, dude. Well, thanks again, bro. And again, if in the future, if you find a moment you feel like coming on, just hit me up. Sometimes I just space, dude. You know that I get all caught up in the moment. So
I hear you, bro. And sua sponte, and God bless America, man. Let's pray for our troops and our guys lost today, and let's not keep repeating these same mistakes. God bless.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for your service too, bro. Love you, man. Thank you. See you
Love
later.
you too, brother.
Later,
All right, bye.
All right, guys. Here we go. Let's go ahead and click that off. And that was your boy State Line, guys. AKA John Goodman. So yeah, guys, always down to find a middle ground, always down to have a little fun with the trolls, and but then eventually find a middle ground and hang out and have a good time. This sun is messing with me right now. It's messing with my lighting and everything. Studio life, bro. It's wild. So much I gotta think of. Now can you turn the heater on? I'm sorry, the AC on.
But do you want me to close it?
No, that's all good. I'm gonna get off the stream in a minute. Guys, thank you. I think I'm gonna get off the stream right now. That was an unfortunate turn of events on the stream. It just happened while we were on together. And so, and I'm complaining about the sun is bouncing off something and it's coming in and it's just jacking everything up. I know I got the California sun. But dude, this was a crazy turn of events. So we started the stream, had no idea this was going to happen. It just happened live. I happened to go look and see if there was any current events happening, and this happened, man. It's crazy and unfortunate, super sad. Hopefully they do make it. It looks like they're still in critical condition from what we're seeing on the reporting. Guys, our thoughts and prayers go out to them, and hopefully everything's all right. Yep. There's the Discord. Please join the Discord and jump on there if you want to chat with us off stream. And again, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, all the mods. Love you guys. And I will see you later today.